Well, I think Breeze is definitely out of the question. We've spoken about this already, but what about the picks? What would you guys like to see come out today?
Ascent, give it to me again.
I think that's the only guarantee in this map, Vito, heading into this.
Yeah, Breeze is gone straight off the bat. I think Ascent, Leviathan, after yesterday, seeing how FNATIC performed, I think they should feel pretty confident.
You know what, if I was Leviathan, look, we said, you know, get rid of one of those maps. They've been recently banning Icebox, Fracture, etc. They've been target banning. I was either torn between Icebox ban or Fracture ban. And they only really got to pick Icebox. And if I was to pick a map against FNATIC, I would pick Icebox as well. So I think they've done right there. The best that they can do, considering.
Yeah, this Fracture pick is very, very interesting because I expected them to go for Bind right away. But actually looking into it, Leviathan has not played this map with this roster. So it's going to be really, really interesting to see what they actually come up with and what they even play with Shy adds to the team.
It's a little bit of unknown factor as well. I mean, FNATIC is taking a risk by picking that as well. Obviously, the fact that Leviathan's floated it, got rid of Icebox, means that they conversely have practiced this in private. And guess what? It's all in private. And there we go. We get your Bind.
Yeah, I was not expecting Leviathan to ban Haven when Bind is on the pool because FNATIC is good. So very, very, I mean...
We said this about Leviathan last time, though. Remember when they picked Ascent? And we were like, why would you do that? That is a great map for your opponent. You don't play it very well. And they came out and they absolutely demolished their team. I think we can't really have Leviathan as a known quantity anymore. I'm refusing to say that I know anything about Leviathan's map pool after that. No.
But also, FNATIC, they lost on those two maps yesterday. So maybe Leviathan, the preparation is there. They know how to counter it.
And they want to keep FNATIC in their uncomfortable zone, which obviously you could see with that Fracture pick that FNATIC is the same way, right? You haven't played this map yet. Let's see what you got on it because we are confident on this map.
Maybe they thought they would pick Bind. Maybe it also conversely didn't go in Leviathan's favor in the way that they thought it would. So maybe it's just a mixture of badness for both teams. I don't even know how else to put it.
I can't wait to see it on the server. We got to do that. And we're going to take another break here. But then after this, we're going to get the players on stage and get into that series between FNATIC and Leviathan. We'll see you in a few.
Do we just counter them? That's a possibility. And it comes down to this agent select as well.
Yeah, we're into the Prime Gaming agent select. And what you're seeing on here, I believe, is the comp that they ran before Shy was in the roster. They could be reprising that. I'm not sure. But so far, both sides are looking, I mean, they're looking like the picks. Actually, I tell a lie. Boaster has moved over to the Brimstone.
Hello?
Yeah, this is the second time
I love Boaster controller, though. I kind of like it.
Yeah, it's been very good since they made that switch. But without Astra with the Viper, it's kind of interesting. They are playing the same comp on the side of the Leviathan, and they're doing some stretches. They're warming up a little bit. We're going to need the stretches because Durka versus Tackle Leah on the chamber right here on this map is going to be super, super important.
Yeah, and I want to see some stretches from your casters today. Go on, Bren and Sideshow. Show us what you got.
Thank you very much, Analyst S Crew. Yeah, I mean, I do like to do my stretches before I'm coming in.
Do you?
Yeah, the downward dog.
Yeah, Bren hits the splits before he goes onto the cast every time.
Every single time.
He's crazy.
I am. I'm a crazy. That's such a crazy trait that I've got. I like to do the splits, guys. I like to do the splits regardless of all that. Let's focus on the match at hand, Leviathan versus FNATIC. It's an important one. Elimination match. The desk has been singing it all day long, and it comes down to this, honestly. I think the map pool, Josh, as well, it's kind of honestly leaned pretty heavily into FNATIC's favor, hasn't it?
It should be. It's 2 out of 3 of their best maps, but I really want to keep in mind what Bala said on the desk. This is a bit of unknown territory that you're stepping into. You kind of, from FNATIC's point of view, you have to punish the fact that they left Fracture open, but you feel a bit weird about it because you don't know what you're going to get. Now, from our point of view, knowing the agent compositions, this is pretty similar to what they've done in the past. This is pretty similar to the style they run on Split as well. And Leviathan is starting out with a set play to take some tree control.
Yeah, incredibly rapid approach. Push it all the way through B main, but it's absorbed, of course. That's the 4-1 split that's being taken place by FNATIC. So Durka teleports away back to safety, and the rest of FNATIC are capitalizing massively, already taking space into the side and getting that plant down.
And maybe that's where you see a little bit of the Brimstone swap. In fact, Durka with the first kill too. Over on the other side of the map, taking the rope to go and help the rest of his team as Adverso pushes forwards. Mystic didn't realize he was so deep.
I mean, whether the sound cue's just not really recognized, Alfia just hiding up top, but close and personal. Bit of whiffage still, the clean kill. Eventually traded, but that Brimstone molly stopping him for about a moment. Leviathan trying to play this fast with their retake.
The Brimstone's miles away though. Look at the position of Boaster on your minimap, spreading through spawn. This is all down to Enzo.
He's got to try and disrupt this one, already sticking up to halfway, and Boaster's just nowhere on site, nowhere in position for it. It just gets stuck.
And what a catastrophe for FNATIC. It's one more of their post plants falling to pieces. an area of the game that normally Fnatic look rock solid in, but they were just so aggressive there.
Yeah, and I think already you're seeing that known quantity versus the unknown quantity, but Leviathan, I mean, in a matchup against XZ, these pistol round wins were one of the core reasons as to why they were able to make it so close, bring it all the way to XZ.
They won 5 out of 6 pistol rounds against XZ.
5 out of 6 is
and then they were winning all the clutches too.
Of course.
So it doesn't really matter what else you do in the game if you're going to clutch every close round and win every pistol too. Fnatic taking this one fairly slowly. Durka, the only player that can particularly do anything with 8 bullets in his headhunter.
And Fnatic not opting into the buy. A lot of teams on our attack side, if they get that spike down, the extra money, they can supplement something. But just decided to take the full eco here. And they decided to contact all the way up behind this Viper wall. The nade to try and clear through, but a fragment being set up pretty nicely here. Should be 3 kills going away of Leviathan. Still, main control, ready and waiting. Another flash for Shy to try and take the fight. And of course, favored.
Perhaps Mystic will be able to get some plant money here, but that's the only thing that Fnatic are playing for at this point. Leviathan taking a couple of players that have been knocked out of this, so a little bit of damage done.
Yeah.
But overall, not exactly the way that Fnatic would have wanted to start this. They are heavy favorites in this match, and that comes with its own level of pressure. Again, the Des was talking about it a little bit, but Leviathan have made champs. They've come here to do what they were intending
goals,
to do.
Really, haven't they?
And Mystic, decent little headshot to knock the armor off Taco, but that's going to be all he achieves in the round.
I'd love to hone in on that though as well, Josh. I mean, you think about the pressure. Fnatic, this team, everybody's anticipating these guys to just absolutely beat Demons. I mean, even in a little hype piece that we were showing, Boasters calling themselves, you know, the boss that they have to go through in that lower bracket.
I mean, to be fair to Boaster, he did say Fnatic were going to grow into the final boss.
Sure.
That they hadn't hit that form yet, but that was what they were going to become in this match. And that's on them to prove it. But yeah, if you talk to any of the EMEA fans, it's about 50-50 whether Fnatic are the favorites just to win the entire tournament. That puts its own level of pressure, responsibility to deliver a championship for the most successful region. And here comes a bonus round that they're going to have to deal with. Leviathan pushing Dish. And maybe just going for a full bridge crunch.
Yeah, there's going to be a complete crunch. Can Fnatic even absorb this aggression? Alfie has already gone down, but that high ground position held by Durka. Teleports away to flash in play. Mystic trying to cover it. Overwhelmed with the player advantage. Leviathan are easily able to take this one. 1 player remaining. That's Enzo. Other side of the map, but the spike has been dropped down.
Yeah, tragedy. Once more. And Leviathan overwhelming Fnatic with their aggression. And normally you think of Fnatic as being a team that's so good in those moments, but Fracture, on the attack side, you just end up so claustrophobic there.
Yeah. Looking
with your head on a swivel. Enzo's been kind of nasty in the clutch when you've been watching him online most recently. Has looked like a completely different player since joining this team. But it would be difficult to get through Taco and Melza.
Brutal. Orb to try and cut off the sideline. Spam here and there with the Vandal.
Taco will die to 1 body shot here. Maybe able to isolate a 1v1.
They're going to be able to give him this fight. Leviathan, look at this, Takalea and Melza really just doubled up. Showing it, they don't really give him too much. And there you go, 4 in a round for Takalea. Josh, this is off to an amazing start for Leviathan.
An incredible start. They haven't played this map with the current roster. And even if you look back at their previous roster, they barely played Fracture.
It's 3 times in the history of the org.
And they are doing a great job here. Taco with the opener, the flash through. Even with Mystic's positioning, being able to play anti-flash, they just couldn't deal with the sheer quantity of players in their face. Awesome start. Especially for Taco, who's 6-1, able to get the operator online now.
Let's see what happens here for Fnatic and what the adjustment might be. Obviously, we're Boaster moving over to the Brimmy. Kind of implies as well they want to be trying to shut down some of the faster plays that might come from the Neon. With Durka falling early, that is not a great start at all. Even on the half buy, Fnatic, I think you rely on your chamber player when the money's not looking too hot to really get a lot of damage, a lot of work done.
Trying to flash Alfia in, and there's a mistake already. The coordination just looking a little off here. Stun onto King.
That's nice.
King certainly not scared, but Alfia delivers the pick.
Yeah. Very little fight being taken here, but Shy really isolated. Drop down onto the box. Will fall in the end. Boaster, he tries to follow up. Just running it down. Enzo left alone, not able to do too much more. 2 players surviving here for Leviathan. Another round on the board.
An awesome beginning to the map. And this is where FNATIC need to stabilize. 4-0 starts, okay. You're not too worried about it. You lost the pistol, you lost the bonus, then there's 2 thrifties that come along with it. But if you start racking up a 0-6, a 0-7, 8, that's when things start to get extraordinarily dangerous. We saw the DRX Optic game on Fracture. Things just spiraled out of control so quickly.
Snowball so fast. Once you get that grip on it. For FNATIC, this is a map Fracture. Historically, they've looked very good at. They've been 6-1, I believe, over the course of the entirety of playing it. Points towards them being favorited here, but they are finding it difficult to deal with a lot of this aggressive takes.
And Leviathan are always going to be confident to make the play. They are never afraid. One of the things that carried them through the XSET game, they were just so often willing to make a risky play, go for a contact push, a swing, where they're taking a 50-50, but they're winning them more often than not. And FNATIC, with Boaster's change, they're going to miss that gravity well to quell some of the aggression, perhaps. We've already seen that the post-plan play didn't look too clean. Coming up under here.
Is this being anticipated?
The flash is lovely from Mystic.
Yeah, that's honestly quite magical to just push him off the angle, even expecting that he could be there. As soon as they heard that teleport as well, it means that it's going to be the play being made. Alfie are going to be skipping across the site, the nade up into tower to try and supplement it. Now a showstopper, but no one's really there, just pre-firing the rocket into the corner. Everyone playing off of sight.
And that's a huge pick. King pushed out of A halls, looking to get the wraparound. Retakes are always better when you can get these kind of positioning, but FNATIC is shutting them down.
Yes. Yeah, Leviathan just trying to basically disrupt this one before the spike even got planted in that kind of position, but they've lost so many of their players now. Essentially just Tackalier, Shy dropped to his knees from the ults prior. FNATIC do still need to plant.
Yeah, and there's only 10 seconds left.
They do still need to plant. They do still need to plan. Guys, come on, get onto the site. Okay. Tackalier, luckily, I mean, they find a pick onto him to end the round, but Josh, it was almost like they forgot the win con.
I'm not going to lie to you, Brent. I thought there might have been some lag or something on the server there, because I was just confused as to why the spike was sticking around at B-Heaven for so long. Very, very odd. With such a massive player advantage, but listen, end of the day, FNATIC come out on top there. They used a lot of ults with which to do so, but Mystic getting great value out of his utility. The flash forces Tackalier off the angle, the ult again forces Tackalier off Jenny, and then they use the showstopper to try and take the space. More aggression, but Boaster just spams through the smoke, and King's been picked off.
Yeah, the early Brim smoke just dropped down there. Boaster obviously.
It's not going to stop Melzer. Look at Melzer.
He's just moving all the way through this, but oh, the shots just don't quite connect. Enzo deals with it. And magnificent.
That's what I'm talking about. These guys are not afraid to make the play, even if it fails.
Oh, and Thunder to push them back. Adverso's just taking the space back again. Dodges the flash. He's up close and personal. A bit of run and gun, trying to bait for Alpha here to collect the kill, and eventually he does.
Shy is behind them right now, looking for a pick. Landed the headshot, but it was through a brick. This is the round that I'm kind of talking about. I expect a lot of the game to be like this, because as soon as Leviathan lose a player early, all of their players are going to look for a solo play. And they're good enough to be able to turn the rounds around unless you're hyper diligent. And the Chaos caught FNATIC off when they played against Paper X. I'm not claiming that it's as coordinated when it comes to Leviathan by any means, but they are going to try and inject chaos into this. And FNATIC have to be diligent, have to be structured and disciplined. And so far, they've managed to shut down a couple of those threats that could have posed problems for them in round 6.
Yeah. That's the danger, Josh, of Leviathan, isn't it? They play with that. It's almost like they're just not too worried about the outcome of the map sometimes with the plays that they make.
Of course, yeah.
The solo plays, the solo contact pushes, just high risk, anything to turn the round.
Yeah, a lot of
their favor.
A lot of high risk, high reward situations, but they've been winning them against XSET.
Yeah.
I saw the fan reactions. I saw a lot of people saying, "Okay, listen, XSET, they were playing terribly. The other teams aren't going to give Leviathan those opportunities." But I think that undersells the chaos and the individual quick decision making that Leviathan have. Yeah. They always know how to maximize the reward of a risky play that they're going for. It doesn't mean they're going to stop taking the risks, but if it works for them, they can really get on a heater.
look at the money situation. Leviathan, a couple of them operating. You can see in terms of just buying up a rifle. Mel's has got that ready and waiting, but for Fnatic, plenty of ults if they can get into a post-plant situation. Set them up quite easily. Forward King, what was the go button there? A dodge and juke moving around, the overdrive popped off, but the players once more holding around the corner. Mystic deals with it.
And another excellent aftershock from Mystic too to stop the trade from Melzer, who was the only player with a rifle in this round.
And this is a significant key to victory, I think, on this map. Being able to deal with that just constant aggression that Leviathan are going to be able to throw at you. If you can just hold deeper angles, make them overextend, make them play into you where it's a bit more favored, and turn it into that 4v5, Fnatic, they set themselves up nicely.
And honestly, Brent, I think if Leviathan had full committed to that crunch, Fnatic would have found it very difficult. What do you do if there's an orbital strike on your head at that position and people are still pushing you from arcade? But it was a little half-hearted, and like I said, the aftershock stopped Melzer from really getting involved.
All the players grouping up now, stun off onto the corner. Fiber Orb placed up, this is a Verso, but again, high reward play that he's making. Moves inside the orb, gets the one eventually removed though. The trade is there, time still running relatively low here. The weaponry's not the best. And now the orbital strike to try and cut them up, but Fnatic are winning this one out. The weaponry, the player advantage. All points towards them being able to get this plant down, and it's left up to Tangalia. We've seen some magical moments over the course of this tournament.
And he's got the off.
Quite enough.
Not quite, and Dirk is going to go back and collect the weapon. How dare you take a shot at me with my own weapon, he says, as he picks it back up, and Fnatic are back into this game. You're going to have Leviathan on another one of their rifle rounds, and Melzer hasn't had a real opportunity to use the orbital strike yet. Obviously a massive ultimate, and probably one of the big reasons why Boasters made the swap over to it. Look at that trade. Wow. You do not expect... If Dirk doesn't hit that one, I think Adverso ends up getting a couple of kills there. I told you Dirk would be taking that personally. It's his weapon. Long lineup from Shy though, throwing his 0 point over to try and get information, and he does. He finds that Mystic and Alpha are poking and prodding towards Dish, and Taco already had that info with the boombot coming towards his face. But this is going to start to paint the picture here for Leviathan, that Fnatic are starting these rounds with 3-4 players up towards bridge. Yes. It's unusual. Teams don't often do it, but I think we're starting to see the meta develop in that way to stop bridge crunches. And so far Fnatic are 1 for 1 in stopping aggression on that side of the map.
Slow and steady. It's the pace that's being taken. A couple of pings up into the tower there. Looks like they are going to be stunning it up. Anything else to try and help them out here? Yep, it's going to be the nade just rebounding off the side of the wall.
And that buys space for Mystic to get the final ult point he needs. Breach ult is about to hit the site, and these players are not in position to deal with it.
Rolling Thunder, Melzer going to be sent straight up, flying into the air. Up close and personal. Alpha is there. Eventually, though, traded.
This position from
has to deal with this. Yep, there's going to pop flash. Spray transfer is immaculate.
30 seconds
2 kills for him, down to Dirk, and now left alone, and I know exactly where he is. Placing down that rendezvous, making all the noise in the world. Has to turn up and just create something ridiculous here. But the crossfire, the angles that are being played, it's just perfect from the players of Leviathan.
Yeah, and I think it was a little sloppy, honestly, from Fnatic. They managed to get a breach ult online that, frankly, I don't think Leviathan had considered as a possibility, because Melzer and Shy are both in positions where they should just get devastated by that. But look at Shy here. They've been too slow to capitalize on that. And nobody's with Alpha yet taking advantage of the space that he creates. So Alpha goes 1 for 1 with Melzer on site, and Shy is able to withstand the stun, or perhaps even dodge it, gets out of the way and continues that fight. Here's some tree aggression that's going to fly towards Durka, and this time he's getting tucked in, has to rendezvous away.
And this is why you're probably seeing Fnatic playing heavy presence over towards bridge, but I mean, predictable. When it's just Durka playing in the lower section of the map alongside one of a teammate, you know that Fnatic are going to be lurking around.
And that's another big mistake.
Yeah,
that's
Shy, what a...
pretty unaware, honestly, from Alfia and the rest of Fnatic to not think about or have anybody holding the angle underneath. So now 4v4, Fnatic are posturing around trying to take and regain control of tree. But I love the way that Leviathan are playing the defense. You've got Takolia with his operator pushed up deep in halls, giving them all of the confidence that they can stack 3 players over there towards B. His trademark's holding dish, his operator's holding halls. Once he takes contact and rendezvous away, then Leviathan can start rotating.
Jiggle, good discipline to try and spot out Takolia, and with the footsteps, has to respect it.
And now you see Adverso, and that's opened up the lurk.
Ah, it's complete fake, isn't it? Just that one presence with the smokes drop down, all the players of Leviathan, 2 of them rotating back over towards A.
But Melzer could be the magic man here.
Melzer with the timing. Moving through, can hear the plant sound with the wall being dropped down. The player's positioning is not quite known. Durka TP's back over towards Arcade. Melzer deals with it. But the Viper's Pit is down, Josh. This situation, honestly, Leviathan trying to play into this one. Fnatic, they should be favored.
Ooh. Melzer, I think, just beefing his movement a little bit, gives Boaster the kill. And I wonder whether he has a post-plant molly liner. You would expect it with his move over to Brimstone. Perhaps it won't even be needed. He's just creating a threat at the back.
Yeah. He can play this crossfire angle as well from Arcade, but he's backing away all the way to the top side of the site. Don't know if he is setting up for a Brimstone lineup from all the way over there. Probably just trying to play for the exits, isn't he?
Yeah, I don't think Boaster has a Brim Molly lineup from Dish.
I wouldn't be surprised, though. This team is very dirty.
Mystic goes to try and punish Taco. Taco's having none of it. Fnatic 4-5. Clawing their way back into this game after a very early 0-4 start, where Leviathan were fully in control. And look, once again, 3 players from Fnatic start the round at the top of the map, over towards bridge side. I would like to see Leviathan at some point go for another one of those crunch plays. Oh, although Fnatic,
big group up.
Yeah, making an audible, changing the strategy, and starting with 5 players towards spawn right now. Yeah, this fight looks like it's happening over halls.
The fight being taken, the stun is immaculate. LEVIATÁN forcing out that showstopper, sent down at the feet of Melzer. Enough damage is done though for Enzo to claim up the remnants of it. A couple of bullets will do the job at the end of the day, and a wider swing again from Adverso.
What a shot.
Feeling like he needs to take matters into his own hands, but again, he goes down, and immaculate with the flash. Pure perfection. It sets up Alfia once more.
I've been so impressed with Mystic's utility so far on map 1. He's a player that I think a lot of people will be looking at with the loss to Paper X. He is at the bottom of the scoreboard right now for all players in the tournament when it comes to ACS. You know, he's putting up 80 damage per round. These are really poor numbers from Mystic.
Sure.
But his utility usage so far in this map has been masterful.
Yes.
Every flash is responsible for pushing somebody off an angle. The aftershocks are stopping trades coming through. And they're playing the ult-orb situation with his breach ults onto sites really well as well.
It's so intentional.
It's hard to tell just yet with only 10 rounds whether this is him playing in much better form or whether he's just got a feel for Fracture and the way that Leviathan are playing, but it would be an enormous step up if Mystic is able to perform as he has been online, because Mystic has been in white-hot form in EMEA. Playing some of his best Valorant.
I mean, he has been a monster when it comes to the clutches, just regionally. But he is a bit of a, you know, I like to call players like him a bit of the glue, you know. Sure. Filling in the roles that maybe other players don't want to play as much, but it's a difficult role at times.
And that round as well, Leviathan do go for a lot of the crazy plays. There's Adverso on the wide swing, like you said, Brent. And there's Taco trying to make a play happen too. And Fnatic are dealing with it. They've got good utility, good spacing so that they can trade each other out. And they're ready for those plays. It seems like they're making the adjustment here. And it's been a while since Leviathan have got their feet underneath them.
Yeah. Struggling a bit, I think. Off the back of winning the pistol round, and obviously the bonus on top of it, they did set themselves up nicely with just the money, the overall situation, the rounds going away. This is a common trend that we've been seeing with Leviathan, especially in that exit game. It was one of the reasons why almost all of the maps were going so close, because they were able to get those extra rounds into their belt. But when it comes to the actual meat and potatoes of these halves, when Fnatic are on even footings with them, with the buys themselves, I mean, I haven't been keeping count, but
3, 2, 1.
Nice!
Now we can hear that casting, and now you can hear it at home as well. When it gets to the end of the round, Boaster is deliberately counting down a cheer, a scream.
Yes.
And I think the only purpose for that has got to be to get into Leviathan's heads.
To rattle.
Because it's not based on when they're getting the kills. They already knew they'd won the round for like 30 seconds before that. But they're specifically, I don't know, attempting to tilt Leviathan perhaps as they head into the next.
Part of it as well, probably, you know, know, getting Alfia still comfortable.
Sure.
The guy has been playing pretty well, I think. He had a bit of a slower start towards the tournament. You can understand it, he's a younger player, but getting him comfortable on the stage is pretty essential. And look at this, the flash at the back has to swing to the side, but still the kill is there.
And
Mystic
the
playing
trade.
anti-flash.
The trade from Mystic, really nice to neutralize that threat, because Leviathan had a good idea. Sending the flashes through, going for a swing with King and Melza. And Adverso tries to make the play again. He has recovered a Vandal. This is great
The door's
timing.
still open. Shot's being found. Quick tip-tap, even offloading his own ultimate. Off to the side, the flash not enough. The player's fallen so low, it's all down to Alpha. In the 1v1 versus Takalea, positioning not known. The spike dropped off, and Takalea has already made his way into halls. All the noise being made by Alfio with no more bullets. A perfect opening of the door. Takalea finds the timing.
That is a gorgeous, thrifty round. And I can hear Leviathan going crazy as well. Both of these teams just hollering back and forth at each other. But that's a great round. Adverso,
Another
once
example,
more,
wasn't it?
He's just unafraid to make the play, and Takalea finds another great timing. Leviathan's plays are not always super synced up together. The opening of the round was with the flashes and the contact in halls, but when things descend a little bit into the 3v3s or 2v2s, it's about players catching timings and making big plays.
And even with the score here for the final round of this first half. Tour de force whipped out on the side of Durka. Going to be trying to cover those angles with the rest of his team contacting deep into dish. No aggressive plays being made from Leviathan.
Well,
other than the halls control.
Yeah, they do have quite a deep look at halls, and they've been trying to get in front of Enzo's smoke almost every time. And that means that Enzo's Viper utility is fairly useless at
on the ropes.
Faking this.
Are they going to be walking into this one? I mean, King's still holding the angle. He doesn't really have too much to support him because, I mean, Verso's got to be watching drop the entire time.
Yeah, and if Melza swings to trade King, he can't really use his ultimate. And I think playing off the orbital strike here is going to be more important than trading King.
This is such a wide angle for King to be holding. But he gets the value anyway. They just don't expect him to be there. The stuns are trying to help him out. Get him out of there, King. Hopping away. And now the support comes down with that Brim Molly to cut them up. If anybody tries to push the ult, Mystic is taking so much damage in the orbital strike. Oh, it's perfect. The wombo combo play. Alfia tries to make the most of it, but he's shut down on top of it. Oster left alone. Fragment into the corner. Chunking him down, the damage being taken, the no command from Shy, meaning no abilities can be used, and they know his exact positioning.
And we said it felt a little dangerous going towards... Hello, throwing out the orbital strike there as well.
Right around, might as well. Trying to make the most of it, but the player positioning not quite known.
We said it might be a little bit dangerous for Fnatic to go into Leviathan when you have no data to look at. But a 7-5 half, not even just off the back of those first 4 rounds, but there was some beautiful stuff shown in 11 and 12 too.
Yes.
Leviathan clearly have a game plan, and it's working fairly well.
And I think coming into this next half with this lead, it's incredibly interesting, especially with how little we really knew about Leviathan coming into this initial map. But of course, our analyst desk is going to be breaking down all the action that we've seen thus far. What have you got for us, guys? Thank you, guys. Yeah, I think you guys have set the stage perfectly for this one. You know, this battle of, you know, the fast tempo that Leviathan have been bringing every now and then and slowing it down just enough to make it nice and awkward, a bit of a quirky approach to it. And now we're heading into this pistol round, Josh. Leviathan been winning a lot of them against XSETs. What gave them the edge? If they can take it away here, they would gain a sizable lead in the map.
Yeah, it would be massive. And you talk about Fnatic potentially struggling to deal with the pace. This one looks quick. They have the Neon. They're going to bombard Dish with
Set
stuns.
up for it, isn't it?
And it's only Durka over on A. It looks like a hard read from Boaster, stacking 4 players on the B side of the map. And he's starting to move away now that they haven't heard anything. And it's purely a contact push, but they are going to be unleashing once they hit drop.
Contacting all the way. Not even worried about a player who could be just watching that angle. Holding the stun, and there you go. Finally, they let it rip. Fast lane drop down. Durka can't even react. I think there was a flash there, potentially a knife even, so that Durka wasn't able to get back to safety. Something ended up giving Shy the assist for that one, but now with horse control gained, even a player holding down upon to drop, a very nice post-plan situation that they've set themselves up into.
I think Takalea knows that Enzo is on the flank here. Perhaps not. He has smoked off the trademark, but may have had a ping of it early on.
Oh, yeah.
So Enzo could be the playmaker here. He's got a timing.
It could be massive. Okay, bit of a ghost moment, but secures it. Just needs to get another one easily enough with the pressure that his team is applying already half on the defuse and his utility. Look at this one. The kills flooding in for them. Halfway, they need to try and disrupt it, but it's just stuck all the way down.
Enormous play from Boaster, making sure that they get on that as the rest of his team pushes forward and engages Leviathan in a battle that means Boaster is just left, able to stick. But Leviathan are not going to give up here. Just because you win the pistol doesn't mean you really won the pistol. We're going to have a battle in round 2. Take a look at it from Boaster's perspective. He just manages to get half before the aftershock comes through.
He doesn't get that. It's looking a bit more brutal. They were really fighting over that one.
But like I said, Leviathan are not giving up yet, just yet. They will not go quietly.
Brought straight into this one. The stunts sent across. Alpha watches the angle. Even the vulnerability was being applied a little bit prior to that one. Softened them up enough.
Oh, and Enzo just got more than he bargained for opening that door.
Gonna refight this one. Mystic ends up flashing the corner there, but doesn't want to overstep himself once more. Talia tried to timing it, Durka. What a fight to take.
Wow, trying to swing off Taco's crosshair being broken to break the trademark.
That's really smart.
Trading his own trademark there. Now it's all down to just Shy and Malza. An overwhelmed run and gun down. This might have been the play that, again, Leviathan were unafraid to make, but it could be the play that allows FNATIC to regain control in the series, in the map.
I've seen Malza do some just ridiculous stuff.
Won't be this time.
Not this time, no. He's been clutch in the past,
but this is Alpha Year's map. The Des were talking about it, over 300 ACS. So far in this tournament, despite the fact it took him 10 rounds to find his first kill in the tournament, he was the only player positive against Paper X. He has over 150 ADR even before you look at his insane performance so far in Fracture. And he's just been performing as expected.
Yeah.
As you expected this young, excellent talent would play against the other best teams in the world. He's found his footing for sure.
I love that as well. Comfortable Alpha Year. That LAN on the global stage really is that complete FNATIC. High expectations, but right now they've made it. Even in this map, money's still favoring them as well. They forced Leviathan down to that eco because they ended up forcing into the prior round.
And it should be the first time that FNATIC takes the lead in the map. But should only go so far when you're dealing with these teams, with these players. Leviathan have been ultra clutch in some of these moments.
Molly rebounds, make sure nobody can swing, so the orb is going to be a freebie.
But FNATIC have lost quite a bit of information. They don't know if there could be people contacting Dish. They have a bit of a passive hold towards Halls, even though there's 3 players there. Now the sight hit comes through on B.
Overdrive, double stunned up. Making sure you get rid of that one. Durkado still ends up being rewarded. Finds the 1 kill, and look at this. Passive positioning by FNATIC. Not willing to give them anything by overstepping themselves. The overdrive's going to be fading away soon enough. Adversa wants to try and find his way into this close common angle. In fact, he wants to take the fight straight to them. But again, Enzo deals with it easily enough. Takalia left down to 10 health. He's going to be rotating into B main, but he's smoked off. He's going to have to do something amazing. But I think the footsteps, the sound cue, it's being watched, obviously. Boaster's fully in the know.
The King can only watch.
Flawless.
As his team gets diffused again, it is another prime game in Flawless. And FNATIC take the lead in the map. And so many of these rounds, it seems like there is one moment, be it at the beginning of the round, middle of the round, late round, whatever. There is a moment where Leviathan go for a high-risk, high-reward play, and it defines whether or not they have an advantage or can win the round. Adverso, the breach player, going forwards to try and take that duel.
I thought he was just going to hold a more passive angle with Jenny, but no, he took it 1 step further.
Yeah, they're always trying to make the play that will win the round. And it's on FNATIC to make sure that that play loses them the round instead.
Look at this aggression that's being played over towards Dish. All this space being gained, but knowledge on either side. Arcade is being taken up, but no real positioning for Leviathan. And look at this, FNATIC running all the way behind them.
And this is different. They're gonna
oh my goodness, they're going to be meeting right into the fray. The players colliding. FNATIC though across her placement. Oh, they knew exactly where they were going to be peeking into.
And it's Alpha Year again with a bulldog in hand, delivering the kills for FNATIC. Such a young player with so many expectations. Some of them unfair, given how little he'd had opportunity at the main stage, but wow, he is delivering on Fracture. That's the bonus round, and suddenly Fnatic are answering in the second half exactly how Leviathan opened with them.
And this round, I absolutely love the call that was being made there. The fast take of Dish, fast enough that they were running all the way deep behind to try and wrap around. Is going to be trying to make it expensive, but at the end of the day, the money situation is still good for Fnatic. But just to really hammer home, I think that they took that with such pace, and the timing was so awkward that, I mean, Leviathan, you could see, they were unaware. They had no idea those players were going to be coming to pincer them from behind.
And like I said, it's a little uncharacteristic for Fnatic. They're not usually going to be a team that reacts extremely quickly. Yeah. And so once you take one side of the map, they're instantly sprinting out of Dish or going for a reactive play somewhere else. That isn't Boaster's mid-rounding style necessarily. We've seen it a lot from Benkai, for example, with Paper X, but sometimes even with FNS on Optic. Boaster normally likes the pace to be a little slower, a little more controlled. But when you throw it in occasionally, when you hit them with the fast play and your image is a slow team, wow, it caught Levi so completely off guard.
Yeah, they just thought it was a freebie. None of them were anticipating it. The crosshair placement wasn't there.
But the spray control for Alpha, to be able to get 3 there too. He's 20-9 so far. And we were having conversations about Durka using this tournament to potentially stake his claim as the best player in the world.
Sure.
He's not been bad. He absolutely hasn't been bad. But Alpha,
it's hard. It's hard.
He's the star on this.
Absolutely. It's hard to put up the consistently high numbers when you're literally sharing a throne with another player on your team. He's also doing the heavy lifting, and when Alfie is in this form, I mean, this is what we wanted out of the guy watching him online.
Here's Boaster. He's got a better angle onto King, but King still wins it with a little readjustment.
Durka does answer back. I mean, that one kill is nice to have. Turns it back into the 4v4.
And Taco's going to be searching with his headhunter. Taco probing towards Halls and Sanders. King probes once again.
You're not old this?
Enzo certainly is.
Okay. Yeah, Viper's pick going to be placed down onto A, but I'm looking at Adversa with this Rolling Thunder. They've done some crazy plays with this.
But Durka has mostly been playing towards Generator. You haven't seen Durka with his Rendezvous offline playing aggro positions so far.
Yeah.
He's very smartly playing around the aggression and playing retake a lot of the time. Spots where he can get spam damage perhaps. And he goes for a cheeky little peek there off the back of the aftershock, but retreats back with the rest of his team.
And this could still get dangerous. The Rolling Thunder, I knew it was coming. The aggressive play, Leviathan want to be taking it straight to them. They force out that showstopper. Alfie ended up pulling it out, trying to offload once more that aggression that was potentially going their way.
And it was the perfect tool to do it.
Back it away, a shot being taken still. With his post plans, look at the way Fnatic are clearing out B-May now. Tower, so well drilled, but yes, they have to watch out for that backside area. Still on half on the defuse. The Brim Molly's dropped down, but time has been gained from that play alone. Melter off to the side, Tackleer as well, the crossfire. They all come tumbling down.
And it's another one of those awesome, thrifty rounds that Leviathan put together. Awesome play. I mean, a fantastic post plants. Really looking to get aggressive in the post plant as well. If Alvia hadn't popped his showstopper, King was about to send it through the smoke at Generator. I don't know whether that would have won them or lost them the round, but these shots from Taco make the difference.
So low when he's making it. Both of these players so incredibly low with half on the defuse. I mean, so easily winnable for Fnatic. You can feel the frustration there on Mini's face.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, I think it was King and Melzer doubling up in the tower that helps. Althea takes a fight early on as well. The flash is there.
Does he get one?
But trades 1 for 1.
I mean, the guy was overwhelmed there. So many players in his face still. Another 4v4 scenario.
And while that's going on, while there's so much aggression over a dish, Taco wanted to go for some kind of reactive push, chose not to, and is now just watching Halls. But it's the chamber on the other side, Durka, going for walkabouts here.
Oh, pushing so deep.
And essentially, if he just holds this angle, he's containing all of these players.
Yeah, they know they're at the dish area, the drop area.
He's going very deep.
This is so aggressive. I mean, he doesn't have his rendezvous set up as well to get out.
No, I don't think Durka needs to be doing this, but he might win them the round.
Watching it. The jiggle pick, the elbow. Enzo's still dealt with this one though as Taco goes down. He was lurking through Halls, but it's a fast play. Durka is punished.
And there's the punish for the overflank, and what that means is now the door opens for Leviathan. They can pivot back through Arcade, and Boaster has to scramble, moving back towards Generator, attempting to see if he can pick off a rotate.
It's a difficult ask, isn't it? No command dropped through, but
He's going for it.
Yeah, the smoke was dropped. The orbital strike! Boaster just wanders into it!
What a mistake, what a blunder!
Oh, no, no, no. Spike now being planted, it's down to Mystic and Enzo. But the positioning, I mean, it just can't get through any of these smokes. A slight gap, it gives the angle. Shy moves forwards. Still wants to take it. Swinging wide onto the site, into the pocket. That's going to be the snake bite. Forces the positioning and the aftershock. The utility is good, but you need your guns out. And finally, they find them. The kills going their way. Mel's with this off angle, though. To the side, the swing is there. The trade, perfect from Mystic.
And that's the Mystic you want to see. Great for the trade. Closing out the rounds and saving a situation that Fnatic almost threw away.
Yeah.
Once Takulia dies and Durka has them contained, that should be the round over.
Overstep yourself.
Yeah, I think Durka overstepping, and Boaster just didn't honestly realize that he was being brimulted there, I think. He had a safe pocket, but lacked the situational awareness to realize where exactly the brimult had been thrown.
But Fnatic did salvage it, you can feel that.
Squeaky bum time.
Ooh.
And Fnatic take a 2-round lead in this.
Yeah.
But it's never safe, and their economy doesn't look that great. Durka with a tour de force, though, so this should be one of the most pivotal rounds that they're heading into. And Leviathan take a timeout to talk with Coach Petoni.
What to do in this situation?
One of the coaches, in fact, that was previously on Crew, when Crew went on their run at Champions, knocking Fnatic out of the quarterfinals, too. You know, this team has that experience in the coaching staff.
Yeah.
You know, we have the considerations about LATAM as a region, and you know that'll lump Leviathan in with Crew sometimes, even though they are very different teams. But part of that is because they share the same coaching staff. They share a similar vibe where you feel like they're never out, that they could go for a crazy run.
These independent plays that the players are willing to pull out as well.
And who would have thought Leviathan would be neck and neck, essentially, on Fnatic's map pick, on a map that they barely ever play.
They barely play it.
Even if Leviathan lose this map, they should still be feeling great about Ascent and Bind.
Yeah, this map pool it's looking spicy. I think the deeper it's going to get into the series, but map 1 not over yet. Stun off to the side is going to be supplemented again. A fast push on either side, actually. Leviathan trying to take space on Arcade, but this tree area has been pushed out by Fnatic, and they've gained a lot of space from it. I think Alfie might be even posted up on a high ground angle that can pierce all the way down into the other side of Halls, if he is satchelled up onto the box like I think he is.
Leviathan choosing not to use any utility over here at Dish. And last time Durka got punished by the aggression, this time punished by Takulia.
Oh. Takulia not going to be overextending, doesn't want to try and take the potential fight.
And the trademark being down means that Leviathan can creep ever closer, and now they explode.
Straight away.
Can Enzo do anything? A spam kill would be huge.
Fast lane, the stuns. Takulia still watching that one angle, and then immediately sends Fnatic scattered all the way back, running away.
This is a save round.
Yeah. The call's made almost instantaneously.
Enzo, Mystic going to be able to drop some players. So Fnatic do have the economy to buy. But Leviathan's contact pushes up through Dish have been slaughtering Fnatic. When Durka tried to anchor, King ran him over. When Durka's looking for an info peek, he doesn't have a player. So if Durka's playing with somebody else, maybe they can stun him onto the angle, flash him onto the angle, use some piece of utility to help Durka get on the line and force Taco back off of it. That's how you get advantages in these op battles. But Durka's completely alone, just holding Halls there. And that allows the rest of Fnatic to be more flexible with their positioning. They can put players over towards B, but when these Dish pushes or these A crunches happen, Fnatic look a little weak. It was Enzo's anchoring that was saving them in a lot of the EMEA games we watched. But he hasn't been playing that A position outside of the rounds where he has Viper's Pit online.
And even, almost, when it comes to that round scoreline. The second half has been, you can see just from there, Fnatic have been in control of most of these rounds, but it feels like Leviathan have started to pick apart a bit of a weakness, something that they can send flying in there. The counter flash out here, pushed away, now the Rolling Thunder. They're going to try and capitalize, but the Fnatic player is just too slow off of it. King baits it out, and it's a complete wraparound. The instantaneous pivot.
And again, it's only Durka on B. Can he grab a kill and rendezvous away? He's set up nicely for it.
Stun into the side. It's going to be rebounding back and forth. Dirk is still there. Holds the angle. And the disrespect shown. Doesn't want to teleport away. The rest of his teammates finally getting into position to follow up. Tower still being fought over, but Adverso wins it.
He's delaying though. And the rotates have come through. The plant tapped for a moment to see what the reaction would be. And the spam punished.
Yep.
Gorgeous flash.
Post has been spamming through these smokes quite often. Maybe a bit of an adaptation.
Absolutely.
Just on the fly. These teams are just slowly getting used to one another. Back and forth, down to Ento and Alpha yet. Now just Alpha yet.
Has to do it all. A Fnatic player has been stepping up massively, but a 1v3 with these post-plant positions would be so hard.
Finds one.
Taco gifts it to him.
Hey up. Where's the crossfire here? Where's the setup?
Shy with a good reposition back
So
towards
far
Generator.
Back towards Jenny. It is looking truly unwinnable for Alpha here with the positions that were being played there. And that is going to mean this map now going even once more, 10-10, being the scoreline.
What a performance that Leviathan are putting up. And also, again, never afraid to make the play that can win the round. And this time it's Shy. So Adverso taps the spike, trying to bait out utility, aftershock, nade, whatever. But also, it is going to bait out spam, designed to try and punish him for getting onto the plant. And as soon as Boaster falls, there's no smokes. You can't stop Tacolia taking those angles from top stairs. The retake becomes infinitely more difficult without Boaster's utility.
I thought heading into this series as well, Fnatic, having gone up against PaperX, I thought that they would have been tempered almost by the speed and aggression. The essentially requirement to keep up with the way and pace that PaperX play should set them up, I think, in terms of being able to play against the more independent style of a lot of the individual players of Leviathan. But so far, I think this is a game where the teams are just trying to get that grip on how each other is playing.
But they're both making some beautiful adaptations.
They are.
I think the way that Fnatic approached the beginning of this half as well, and very nice, but now they're letting it slip. And it's almost a mirror between these two teams. The defending team racks up a bunch of rounds early on in the half, and then slowly the attackers are figuring a way around it. And Fnatic have been going for so many of these 4-1 defensive splits. Look at the minimap again. It's Durka alone over at Tower. And I think Leviathan are starting to read this. They are going to be able to barrel into B. Even if they lose a player, they're getting a free plant down, and they can play post plants, which they've been excellent at. Not going for the same level of pace, though.
It's a lot of presence, isn't it? There's just a flash to push them up onto the angle, I think, so they could take control of tunnel, and now the contact comes through.
And Leviathan have not been scared to go for these contact plays either. Normally, I would not like it. Durka often with the operator in his hands, but now reduced only to a judge. His job simply to hold tower control for as long as possible.
Leviathan are so grouped up.
Gotta go.
There's the 4 of them, just holding these positions, making sure that they make no noise, no sound cues to give away and reveal any information that Fnatic might be able to use. But I believe the trade might be broken. Yeah.
Trade might broken, but Leviathan, anticipating some kind of rotate, are heading back over to Halls.
No prior control of it gained as well.
Alpha was tucked in Cubby and now is starting to move away.
Boy.
They're worried about some kind of push from drop.
Earlier in the round, Enzo does have this open. Pop flash through. Has to just backpedal and spam away. But the flash, that's a counterplay. The utility from Fnatic there. It helps him out. Ensures that they can at least get a couple, but somehow Shy's ended up with 2. Another flash play, no, just the sides against it. The fragment stops them from just trying to push through these smokes. Blocking the way now with just 12 seconds remaining. The spike has to get planted.
Shy's looking to try and punish somebody who's going aggressive again.
Flash
Here's the flash over.
And there's Enzo's position. It was known he did get himself out with the kill. Now down to just Tacolia. But the weapon he's got is good. Dirk is still only working with the judge and his head and bullets. We'll see if the positioning can be played. A bit of a bait there. You can see just jumping Boaster, trying to make them think that he has dropped down. Finally now space being taken, but the damage. 10 HP on Tacolia, and he cannot win it out. Boaster, the IGL, steps up in the moment of need.
Huge clutch for Boaster to win. And he has been one of the better clutches for Fnatic in this tournament. Fnatic haven't had to pull out many of these big late rounds in the same way that Leviathan have. But that one is so important. I think they got the worst end of the round from a strategical point of view. Leviathan managed to pop in there, and it's just a little unlucky. I think a bit of a team flash saved Enzo and allowed him to continue having impact in the rounds.
I gave credit to Mystic at the time.
Yeah, but I think that was just a tiny bit of a team flash through the smoke that caused chaos over at Sand. What a moment for Boaster to remain calm. And Fnatic are 1 round away from that map point.
Let's play.
Love for that to be the case. Boomot up close, overdrive now, the damage. Oh, it was done to Alpha here, but still, this guy feels like he's getting overwhelmed constantly, but still comes up with the kills.
Look at the fast flank though. Mystic, Durka pushed out of tree instantly, and they are so quick here.
Oh, knife out for Malta. Oh, he thinks it's just freeload. A Guardian, no, that's not a rifle still. Gets the kill, does the job. Flash to try and reclear. Shy up close and personal. Flash over the top now, but right round the side. Just finding his way around Durka. A bit of a bait with the movement. Mystic just tries to jiggle it, but they push through the adaptation from Leviathan. They move into the defender's spawn.
And Fnatic were ready for it, but they just couldn't make it happen. Mystic's already won a 1v2 this tournament, but it will not be the second.
That was just...
Tackleia takes him out.
He was stunned up there. He had to land that shot.
Yeah. Absurd play. Absurd. Leviathan, Taco and Adversa finding the kills that save the round there after Fnatic's fast flank hauls finds the goods. And Fnatic were waiting for it. Yeah. They had a player drop. They had a player in their own spawn waiting for that push, and they still lost the duels. Sometimes you can make all the right decisions, but you need to still hit the shots. And that's where Leviathan have been able to find their success. Making a run so far in the lower bracket, or somewhat of one. And here's another fight over towards Dish as King, Alpha clash once more.
The weapons are not good for Fnatic. They should not be favored in these fights, especially when the bodies are just running towards them. That player advantage that Leviathan have been relying on over and over and over again. It's down to Enzo. Sheriff in his hand, has to anchor it, but only finds the 1 kill. And Durka forced to retake. To bind a judge into these rounds, but what can you do? Well, the Caterpillar strat, why not? Bit of coverage in play, picks up the weapon, drops it down again. Verso, utility out in his hands. Does he know this reposition? They suspect it. The aftershocks there, and just the slight angle. Being watched by Shy.
And point for Leviathan. Map point for Leviathan on a map they've never played before with this roster. Up against Fnatic. One of the all-time great teams on Fracture.
Just absurd.
It is
absurd, isn't it?
Fnatic thought they were punishing them with this pick. No, okay, we won't go for Bind, which might be the better overall pick. We'll go for Fracture to punish Leviathan for leaving it open. And Leviathan are ready. They were so ready. It's a scrappy buy coming out from Fnatic as they try and keep this one alive.
Pulling together the pocket change to see if they can get anything done. Stuns for stuns. Alpha trying to set him up, but it's just overwhelming every single time. This Dish fight has been a common key throughout this entire series.
And even with Boaster throwing in the orbital strike, it wasn't able to do a thing. The Fnatic players that have tried to stand their ground have been run over. And Enzo's going to go for his mid-round Viper's Pit, as he is wont to do in a lot of these situations. But Leviathan, the map is open for them. They can pivot. In a 5v4 situation, the defense is so spread out, so thin. And the Viper's Pit doesn't control an area like Halls. It's very, very safe.
With the way that these Leviathan players are maneuvering around the map now, Josh, all of them grouped up, heading towards B. There's one player to try and block it, find the angle! What a play to make! Tour de force in hand, the collateral shuts it down, and the rendezvous to safety. And ult for that, a 20-second ability, why not?
And with 30 seconds left, all of these Leviathan players are now channeled back into Enzo. He doesn't really have any assistance. We'll hear the door opening, and Fnatic scrambling to go and assist him.
Utility being used to put pressure into it, but again, Durka up close, a personal to Judge Whip, down they want to fight it. Adverso gets 2, but the spike is on the ground. Rolling Thunder, it's chaos, it's carnage enacted here. Enzo makes sure to clean up the scraps, the players that were just trying to steal away an advantage, and there's no time on the clock. All up to Durka prior in this round. With that one play he made, he bought the time necessary for them to bring it to OT.
You want to play from Durka? You want him to showcase the talent, the read on the game that he's got? Well, there's one for you. Look at this. He's playing against an orbital strike here. He can't just hide in tower. And he just picks the perfect timing. The perfect timing. to peak with the tour de force. Gets both. Outplays Taco that was holding the line. And almost a heart attack for Alpha, yeah. We head to OT. I was not expecting it map 1. Maybe you could have convinced me Ascent. Okay, yeah, sure. Overtime possibilities. Why did Leviathan go for Bind instead of Haven? Surely they have a plan. Maybe it'll go OT there. But Fracture? Map 1 heading to overtime already here. Bonkers. 3 players early on over towards Bridge, and King chooses not to challenge them, instead pushing underneath. Is Durka ready for it? Is Durka watching?
Across their placement of King, it's so narrow right now, but the angle being watched. Durka tries to swing into it with a bit of a crouch to disrupt it.
He was certainly ready, he just couldn't win the duel.
Tackle here with the off. Stun will mean that this angle, you cannot be disrespecting this one still. A jiggle, he hasn't moved away to flash eventually. They're having to use almost everything at their disposal to push him out of that angle.
Just playing as the utility sponge, trying to draw as much as possible out of Fnatic, forcing them to fight and pay for every inch.
Now Fnatic are aware that there's an operator on the field. It adds that extra worry, I think, in the back of their minds. Normally when you're a player down, a lot of teams, they will default to those contact plays, but dangerous to do that when you're up against that sniper.
Taco hasn't made the reposition though, and it's Shy that takes first contact. Nade used, Shy with only 1 flash left in the round.
Aftershock into the corner, want to try and take control of this one, Melzer. Oh, he's fallen.
What a play.
And Alvia, a skip and a hop, the satchel play to kills, just flooding for them.
Awesome round from Fnatic. As they push in, the Aftershock from Mystic forces Shy to make a decision. And he chooses the aggressive option, gets destroyed by the utility.
When it's been coming down into these rounds, Josh, when Fnatic are at that player disadvantage, it's been the utility that's carried them forwards.
It really has, especially coming out from Mystic, and I think the awareness to punish, to just hold for an extra moment, because you know Leviathan are going to try and make that extra play, has favored them massively. And Fnatic shut that one out, only losing Durka right at the beginning of the round. Ever since then, easily handled.
Match point.
That puts Fnatic onto map point.
What a way for them to bring this back.
The first one that they've had access to. Oh, these players that are trying to push through the smokes. Leviathan are pushing through every smoke. And I think it took a while for Fnatic to realize that.
Nice.
But now they're holding on.
Okay, come on.
And it's that back and forth, Josh. You look at the round history. These teams just seem to have a grip on the way that each other's playing. This time Fnatic, they've got the read. The adaptations are being made, but now the side switching round. It's up to Leviathan. Let's see if they can keep this OT going. Map number 1 of this elimination game.
First time bridge crunch for Fnatic, pushing heavily out of Dish here. And they break the trademark instantly. Does Taco have a response off the back of that? No, just holding the angle still.
Did this before, you remember, when they were on the weaker buy prior.
Yeah.
They did end up coming up with a good stem, but no players.
But that one to me felt reactive. It was because they'd heard so much in Arcade. This time it was just straight off the rip.
Yeah.
Fnatic just decided to send it no matter what. And now these players back off.
What a difference.
Oh, a bit of a sound bait.
Yeah.
Trying to get Leviathan to peak, to push, thinking that they've got a timing. And Enzo quietly creeps back forwards, a bit of a jiggle, but nobody being found. What patience, what a shift in the tempo from Leviathan. And maybe they will get a fish on the end of the hook.
40 seconds left in the round though, Josh. It's dangerous when you play it like this.
Has Enzo caught the timing, or have they caught him?
Oh my goodness, it's not being watched. It's not being watched. Smoke's dropped down, he can hear the players making movements towards main. Enzo, everything on the line, but this is awkward now. He has to try and overextend into this one, but Durka still is going to steal that kill away from him.
Wild.
Gained. All the players have wrapped around into halls.
King heard a shot from this direction, but no kill. And now you've got an odd duel in the middle of the round that King wins. 10 seconds left, going for the plant. Boaster with a, Althea with a nade.
Spike planted.
But he chooses not to invest. They're just going to go for the 4v3 retake. This one for the map.
Mistakes were made into this one. Tackler, you cannot be telling me you're pushing into the smoke. It's being spammed out. They expect no scope! Flicks it to the side. He can't return it again, but Durka with 4. Looking for the ace. Looking to secure the map for his team. Molly dropped down. They know the positioning of Melzer. And as soon as this starts to dissipate, player gets onto it, triple facing it up. Unwinnable for them. Eventually fading it away, and that is going to be the round. Go into Fnatic. That is going to be the map going to FNATIC.
Little shake of the head there for Mystic towards the end. I'm not sure what the emotions are going to look like for FNATIC there. I'm sure thrilled that they ended up winning that one in a tight OT. But take a step back, Brent. That was supposed to be the map that was the most dominant.
Oh. You can see the reactions.
They calm. They avoided a disaster. And you might even say that Leviathan had to win this series 2-0, considering what we know about them on Bind. But this series is not going to be over. If Leviathan can bring this kind of level to Fracture, they can bring it to the rest of the maps as well. For sure. I think we're seeing a different beast compared to the data that you look at from them in LATAM.
I think these are the teams that are the most dangerous. We've seen it so many times in the global events. FNATIC are going to take that early lead in this series, but when you have a team that they've already achieved their goals, they've got their champions placement, at this point the pressure's off their shoulders. FNATIC are the ones that are expected to be in the finals.
And the two players that are expected to perform on FNATIC the most are LEVIATÁN and Durka, and they're right up at the top of the scoreboard for this map. There were moments, of course, where Durka ended up getting overwhelmed, but in the crucial OT situations, Durka comes up with a 4K towards the end, trading players out, winning duels exceptionally, and LEVIATÁN was pretty much rock solid the whole time, just suffering from similar things where the tempo or a crazy push through the smoke ended up being too much, but this series is going to continue to deliver.
It's heating up. Josh, what portion of your soul did you sell to give us these series? I mean, we're just getting ridiculous matches. Going to go to a short break. Our analyst desk breaking down all the action, setting us up for that crucial map number 2. Don't go anywhere. You don't want to miss it.
Welcome back to Masters Copenhagen, where FNATIC have taken map 1 against Leviathan. I'm back on the desk with Baller and Jess. I love starting my day with a little overtime. I love that. But realistically, do you guys feel like that should have gone to an overtime?
No, absolutely not. I mean, towards the end of that game, it felt like FNATIC was lost. I mean, in some cases, there were so many moments. I mean, I'm just thinking back to the boast around where he backed up into a molly, or not a molly, the brimstone ult.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, this should not have been this close. But really good credits to Leviathan, because in the first half they came out to a good lead, and then they got the pulse of the game, and they really understood what made FNATIC struggle against them.
Yeah, I think the best thing they were able to do to push it to the overtime, to really put the pressure on the shoulder of FNATIC to have an answer for it, is baiting out that utility where they could around the map, forcing them to go pretty bare bones. And when you force FNATIC down to the bare bones, a team that relies on set plays so heavily, you're forcing some of the big guns of FNATIC to really come out on top. And luckily they did in some of those scenarios.
Yeah, and I really think that there was a massive bright spot here, which was LEVIATÁN was a monster, and he was the only guy, in my mind, outside of, Mystic's utility, that was really delivering on all levels. And I did want to highlight this too, because he had a really rough start against FPX. He started great against Pepper X as well. He was one of those guys who had the confidence too. And he's starting to feel like a stage player. And here again in map 1 against Leviathan, it's the same deal.
Yeah, I've heard some stories backstage where after that first FPX game, Boaster did sit him down and was like, hey, bro, don't worry about everything. It's fine. You keep doing you. You just got to be confident. And Jess, when this guy is confident, who needs Durka?
I mean, that's probably the important point to make, is that it went OT. Durka was struggling with opening kills, for example. Those were areas he was losing against King time and time and time again. And Alpha's like, it is okay. I can pick up the mantle of the duelist against duelist. I can be the guy that sort of stops the sort of... I think King was trying to take so much pace and space so quickly that in the end they had to shut him down, and thank God Alpha was there, because it really needed to be stunted.
Also, who needs Durka? I think we all need Durka. It's time to have a look at the Verizon high-speed moment, because this really was the moment, Baller, where he saved their ass.
Yeah, he really did. I mean, this was a pivot from Leviathan all the way back towards the site with 45 seconds, and he hits this double. And I was wondering, because there was a knife available here from Shy, and consistently throughout the game, as Takalia is so close to actually hitting that, there was consistently moments where Dirk was isolated by himself, not getting any utility thrown for him to set him up. And then Shy would just walk up and throw a knife, and then he would have no escape mechanism. And that really caused problems for FNATIC at the beginning of the game. But finally, at the end, Dirk shows up.
I think it doesn't instill a lot of confidence in me, because one thing we heard, you know, Josh speaking about quite a lot, they're like, well, Fracture, they're untested on, at least, you know, in an international environment like this, and or just even in any of their regional matches, we don't know what to expect of them. Them push one of the best teams on Fracture to that level is a little worrying for me, but at least Fnatic do have that one map in their pocket now. A win's a win, no matter how it's done.
Yeah, and Taco really showed up too, despite being on the losing team. Let's take a look at him right now in the AIM Lab shoot-around as he preps for the next map. And on the next map, Jess, is where I feel like everyone fell in love with him.
I think I wanted a Leviathan jersey the moment that map finished. And you know what, after the first half of that, I was like, I will probably need a Leviathan jersey, because to make that statement on the international stage, if you did miss it, please go back. That was a brilliant first half against a very formidable team. We didn't know why they picked it, but now we do. And we said that FBX and a couple other teams were some of the best teams on that map. Well, I actually now think Leviathan is rivaling for that top dog spot.
Yeah, I was also very impressed by his first half there. And it was that I realized that this guy's different. He shoots different in a sense. Like, he is clicking faster than a lot of people to get these taps off, especially in the pistol rounds. I mean, we saw it in instances in that game. He's definitely not the same as a lot of these players out here, and I think he knows that as well.
I mean, he was diffing Durka a lot of Fracture. He was completely diffing him.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, if we move on to Ascent, as you guys have both alluded to already, this is where we should see, if it was anywhere Leviathan can level things up, Bala, surely it is here.
I still struggle to think that, because Fnatic has been great on this map. I mean,
they have.
Outside of FPX, this is their kingdom, right? They really revolutionized, I think, a lot of the fade that is played on this map. Enzo is really, really good on it. And then Alpha as well, with the Rays, too. This is a map that I think there's a lot to get through if you're Leviathan, and you're going to need to lean into those really good pace changes and study how Paper Rex did it in the last time.
I'm worried a little bit for Fnatic, because I don't think in the EMEA region, from what we know and what we've watched a lot, there's not a lot of the times you'll see a triple flank come out from EMEA teams. They'll be tested in a very different fashion on this map. It's something that we've seen from Leviathan on this map time and time again. And their ability to retake is unreal, so they're really going to have to weather the storm. I actually think they're going to have to weather a storm way bigger than they've already experienced on Fracture. Lucky Fracture was first, because I think if Ascent was first, they would be really absolutely pushed over on that map and having to recover, but it's a bit of a middle ground now.
I do think, though, on Fracture, when you're talking about those triple flanks and stuff like that, Leviathan stopped doing them, number one, and Fnatic started to understand them. It was not like Paper Rex the day prior, where it felt like Fnatic had no solution, right? No matter whether they know it's coming or not. That's not what you get with Leviathan.
Yeah, we're into the Prime Gaming Agent Select here. Of course, Alpha moved onto the stage we saw yesterday. I'm going to be really harsh. I'm going to be harsh.
He has to go back.
But the problem is, if they're going to do the stage here, they cannot get that little rounds on defense. It was just not good enough.
I like some of the walls that Alpha was throwing across the map. I'll be honest, I really like them. If you're not going to run a duelist sort of in this area, Mystic has to step up. Alpha obviously is the one that's trying to focus on his utility first. I said the cogs all need to be spinning really cleanly together, especially with the support players. Unfortunately now, Mystic needs to step up in another department, and that's going to be rough.
Yeah, well, I heard that Josh sold a bit of his soul to get us that first map banger. Bren, how much of your soul are you willing to sell for the second one?
Bren,
give it all up.
Bren doesn't have a soul.
What do you mean?
Bren doesn't
What are
have
you
a soul.
talking about? What are you talking? I'll give it all up. I'll give it all up. Listen, let's go the distance of this one. Ascent is the map here. Elimination, and all on the line right now for Leviathan, isn't it, Josh?
I've got to echo Yinsu's point. I think, especially when you're playing against a triple initiator comp, you've got to try and get those rounds on the defensive side. And that's where Fnatic are starting here. So if Alpha is going to be playing the Sage, they've got to start strong. The pistol rounds have been back and forth so far in this series, though Leviathan have shown us an ability to play fantastically when they pulled them out against Xset. So a lot of this series is going to come down to this first half, I think.
And I'm expecting as well, I mean, the Alpha Sage pick, it was kind of a bit of a response, I think, to try and plug some of the holes that might be in the defensive side. A lot of lurks that were being taken against them, the liberties and that kind of thing. It does give you that extra element when you're on your defensive side. You can put up a wall if it doesn't get broken in the mid-round, then you get to get away with a little bit more. He wasn't really using it in that kind of fashion. It was more to try and help them with the retakes, but you might see adjustments still being made from one side to the next. At the end of the day, this is, in my opinion, the best map that we've seen out of Leviathan over the course of this tournament.
Nice 0 point from King. Stops Durka from playing in wide, which was exactly where Durka was trying to get to. Bit of a drone down mid, but I think this is all going to end up being a fake. They're making it feel like a B split, and instead, these players are all going to group up towards Catwalk. You can see where the spike is headed. But of course, Fnatic can't.
Got to make sure you don't make too many noise cues.
Yeah, and in fact, the spike is leaving, so maybe they want to commit to this B split.
Alfia is reclearing B main by himself. Breaks the trademark. Obviously on top of his wall here in the mid round, so that's going to be able to block off any sort of lurk that might have happened.
Yeah, this seems like a strange one, honestly, to me, from Leviathan. I would have liked to see them prod Catwalk and break the trademark over there if they wanted to return back to B. But they're trying to catch the timing on Alfia's wall going down.
Yeah.
They can contact all the way up to the wall, and as soon as it breaks, bang, they can head through it.
It's on the break now, but already some pieces being placed. You can see that's Boaster's smoke, anticipating that it's going to be going down.
30
but
seconds.
Fnatic look ready for this time.
They do look ready, but Boaster's not ready for the lurk. Through into mid, Melzer with the backstab. Takes him out. Paranoia cuts across. That's going to be doing a bit to dissuade this push and push them back. The horn has to be dealt with. Players still not deep into the side. Alfia, an opportunity to go absolutely huge, but he is taken care of. Kills flooding in right now for Leviathan. Spike even going to be planted, so no more pressure when it comes to the time. And Mel's is just keeping that positioning, that containment as well into mid.
It's trivial, Brent. Trivial! A prime gaming flawless to start things off. And once more, these pistol rounds just look excellent from Leviathan.
The bread and butter.
As soon as they actually commit to the hit, everything's working perfectly. And this play, Melcy comes out of astral form and just gets a kill delivered to him. 3 on the round, by the way, including that one.
Left.
A huge pick onto Durka. And we saw Melzer go unbelievable beast mode.
I mean, he went stupid.
On Ascent.
He went stupid, he went dumb. He went crazy.
He went dumb, silly, ultra stupid.
The guy was a clutch monster.
He had, over the course of the series against Xset, wait a second, this one might get a little dangerous.
Yeah.
But Melzer had a 1v1, 4 1v2s, and 1 1v4. Those are absurd stats. Melzer was clutching out of control. And if he's feeling himself again today, if he remembers that ability to have impact, Fnatic are going to be in trouble.
Yeah, pulling around back from the brink of defeat.
I have the spike.
But prior, I mean, we all saw it. Durka taking a head off of Adverso means they're set up for quite a nasty advantage, I think. And the players of Fnatic starting to run their way back over towards A. They expect this to be the A pop now. Could get dangerous for Leviathan. The smoke's dropped. That's going to be a horn used just in the choke point. Making sure that they can clear their way through. But that deep smoke onto the site, it really does disrupt this take. Leviathan, though, with the better weapons, are able to run forwards and find their marks. Boaster still wants to hide inside of it, but a bit of jumping, running, and gunning to do the job.
Oh, Durka had an opportunity there to pick off Takulia, who just decided to adjust his tie on top of the generator. But Leviathan picked that one up fairly cleanly. 3 players staying alive, 3 Spectres into the next round. And we saw the bonus rounds. You know, Leviathan have some ideas.
They do.
With a lot of aggression. And there are ways that you can make it work on this map. You can chain a lot of utility while you go for a B split. The DRX have showcased that. Leviathan have brought it out once before as well.
It's pretty clear to me, I think, Leviathan are that kind of team where they put a lot of stock into trying to get that pistol round win, trying to convert the bonus.
But this one looks like a slower defaulting round.
Yeah.
And Fnatic are trying to fight B main very heavily.
Trademark's destroyed, and already they can clear that up with the Prowler. No players holding close.
Yeah, and the Fnatic players are choosing to react, push out of B main instead.
No way is King going to be just flashing into this one. Full blind, catching the players out.
And the push from Enzo and Alfia didn't work either. B main looking like a disaster.
Just pinched. Absolute pinch play. Now 2 players left standing for Fnatic. Rotations obviously being heard, but the... okay. Angles watched.
And Mystics lost.
This is just going to be an impeccable bonus round converted.
A perfect one for Leviathan. They break the trademark instantly, go fast down mid, and Takulia's there ready to punish any kind of reactive aggression out B main.
Yeah.
Their game plan was good, they understood what the reaction should be from Fnatic, and they neutralized it.
Spike planted.
Completely in control here, Leviathan.
Fnatic are a team where we're looking at Ascent on this map. Obviously, the expectations are that it is Leviathan's best map as he gets hunted down, but
you heard from Bala on the desk saying that, you know, he still thinks Fnatic have some decent chances on this map overall.
I mean, I would agree with that. I really would. I mean, in the last 4 times that they have played it, I mean, these stats are going to almost prove counter to it, but Fnatic have Won once, lost 3 times when it comes to Ascent the last 4 times they played it. But 2 of those losses coming right down to the wire, really, in a very close fashion.
Yeah, they're always playing...
Very winnable.
They're always playing great teams on Ascent, very close.
remaining.
But this is a pretty terrible beginning. In exactly the same manner of which both halves began on Fracture.
Yeah. One
team wins pistol, wins bonus, and goes up to a 4-0 lead. At least, assuming Leviathan are able to convert this massive economy advantage.
Bit of spam in play to Haunt as well. Alfia has to respect it. Running back to the rest of his team. Later Haunt from Enzo there, doesn't catch onto any players, so information going to be gained that no one's really playing within that vicinity once more, and it is Leviathan just making sure that they can slow this down. Don't give any unnecessary advantages to FNATIC.
There's 3 in mid going for a push here from FNATIC. Durka leading the way with his Headhunter. But I don't think he's going to spot anybody. Melza might check it just for a moment.
I like this.
But it seems like everybody else is threading their way into
If they smoke this trademark, they're going to hear it. And the positioning's known. How does he get the smoke off? It's right out in the open. It has to be precise. While all this is going on, by the way, Leviathan working their way into A. Drone their way in.
Good
I love this. I love this from FNATIC. Now this approach from the back, it should net them a kill.
Spike planted.
1 kill perhaps, but I think as soon as Leviathan realize there are many players pushing here, they can take tree control or
And
push
they're aware.
heaven.
They're aware that it could have been smoked off.
Whoa, what a peek!
Why is that? Bit of a Ferrari swing from Durka. Probably going to be taken care of. At least latching onto the face of Durka. Still, Takaleo with a tour de force. Damage done. On top of the wall, Alfia wants to try and take it from the high ground. Approach that one angle, a bit of a jiggle. They know that he's there. Pre-firing the spot. Just a pixel being held. Haunt off to the side, still broken. And FNATIC, well, taking these fights still with the slow field. Drop down at their feet from that prior kill. They just can't get into the site. Gonna have to play to die to the spike here. Just a bit of a percentage play.
And while it is decent damage, Leviathan's economy is through the roof.
Yeah.
Melza, Shy, King, they're all sat with 6,000 credits pretty much.
What'd you call it the other day? Generational wealth?
Yeah, generational wealth is what Leviathan is sitting with right now. The actual 1% of Valorant. But FNATIC have an opportunity to respond, and this is where we've seen both teams clap back on the prior map. Map 5, they stopped the momentum happening, halted it in its tracks, and were able to right the ship. So that's why FNATIC are currently taking their time out to ensure that it doesn't go any further. And Durka and Alfia have both been hitting some nasty shots so far. You might not see it on the kill feed, but Alfia swung and instantly dinked Takolia for 145 and then finished off the kill.
Yep.
Durka's been finding some picks too. It's not necessarily the picks that have been the problem or the form of the FNATIC players so far, but Leviathan have got a great game plan of how they want to approach these attack rounds. And Brent, I keep going back. Yinsu's point on the desk. The defensive rounds with this composition have to be higher. You're not running a duelist. The attack side rounds are still going to be decent. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. But on defense, where Alfia can have such an impact on the Sage, you've got to be able to halt the triple initiator comps. It's not a crazy attack-sided comp. In fact, the triple initiator is going to cause them issues defending. Or rather, let me rephrase that. The triple initiator comp from Leviathan is going to cause FNATIC issues attacking into it.
This timeout, purpose of it obviously with the money now situated, so FNATIC are going to be able to full buy. And this would be the purpose of it, what adjustments they need to make. And it seems like they're moving Alfia over towards the A side. Want to play Durka up in a aggressive angle with a tour de force. That's popped off, so looking to see if they can hold that B main control just with the ultimate in play. But this is, again, fast approach.
I love it.
Seen this a couple of times actually from Leviathan, but this time they're pivoting into Cat, looking for the A split.
They're so fast.
Right in their faces though, Alfia has to drop down that wall. The Prowler, it connected, didn't destroy it in time, still up close into the corner, seized. A trail just off to the side. How does he avoid all of this coming his way? Boaster though, the support is eventually there, tries to rattle it off. He did find the one killer, but eventually gone down. 3v3, knife up close, that's gonna be tagging. To 1 or 2, even a seize though, but that is sidestepped and dodged. Even the Hawk not getting too much done, but King eventually spotted. The Prowler pointed exactly the right trajectory. Durka drops down with the judge. Head taken off.
What a gorgeous retake. Might have missed it in the chaos of all of that, but Mystic throws a flash designed to blind people that could kill the Haunt. So the Haunt sees everything. Enzo getting massive value out of it. finding a pick on a player that was trying to scurry away into hell. And that opens up the retake massively. You don't always have to swing on a flash, but the combo of flash recon, flash haunt is always gorgeous.
That's an extra layer of defense for the haunt.
And frankly, Enzo and Boaster both do a great job of being able to capitalize off the distraction that Alfia was.
What is... I mean...
Valorant moment. Warning, Valorant moment.
But it's the round on the board for Fnatic.
They'll take it.
Such similar scenes of what we witnessed on that first map.
Look how,
winning the bonus.
Look how clean Leviathan are at taking mid here. They are sprinting down mid in the first 10 seconds with 2 recall smokes, a recon dart, a flash. It's not like they're aggressive for sure, but it's not sloppy. There's thought, there's utility behind it, and that's allowing them to take very early map control. And then when they pump the brakes, Fnatic have lost that whole information, the whole section of the map, and Mystic's forced to be a human trademark.
Essentially, watching the angle. Don't have that to work around. Durka's going to be able to manage this one, but what is this flash play going to be going off of here? Maybe a piece of utility that might get sent into mid, but other than that, maybe the contact of Enzo is just off to the side, a Prowler, the recalled smoke. Going to be destroyed as the player is now going to be vacating Leviathan, giving up that mid control from earlier. Flash plays into it, does connect onto King, but he does survive.
Spike over at tiles at this point. There's still a couple of people that could go for a fake.
30 seconds.
I mean, Shy, if he sends the Nightfall in, this would really look like an A hit.
Yeah, that's what they're trying to achieve, but Durka's holding the angle and it's a contact play. That's Leviathan just trying to not give anything away. He can now anchor from the back of this side, and the spike, well, it has to land here.
What a bad smoke.
It has to find itself here, and the smoke doesn't really watch too much. Still the players finding their way in. Angle being watched. Takuli has got it. The spike, it has to be planted now. 5 seconds. If this is disrupted, it's essentially a 1 round for them, but Shy's still watching at mid. Catching the angle onto Boaster. It's a fast play straight in with the Nightfall. No more sound cues, and Fnatic, they clean up the players. Watching it down, they knew exactly where Shy's positioning was, and Fnatic adjusting to that kind of pace, playing that, even letting the spike get down just so they can play that fast retake.
A great retake from Fnatic too. I mean, considering all the things that have been going wrong for them, Shy getting the pick, lurking off in mid, in the same spot that Mel's has been punishing them once or twice before too, Fnatic still committing so heavily off the back of Enzo's utility, and it's a similar looking retake. In the way that the Haunt and Prowler were getting so much value on A, this time it's the Nightfall, but Enzo is setting up the rest of his team to barrel forwards on the retakes.
And it's not just that as well.
And answering pace with pace.
For sure. But the prior setup, I mean, his adjustments, putting Dirk into B main to watch that and hold it the entire time.
In front of the Cosmic Divide as well.
Alfia wasn't able to do this prior. He's been playing relatively passive when he's been on that B defensive. This is the adjustments that Fnatic have been making coming into this one.
Flash, recon.
So similar.
Yep, there's the recall smoke again. Shock dart to try and break the trademark.
It's looking fast and pacey. All the way in. Trademark's going to be dealt with. The wall, a portion of it broken off. The Haunt to try to help Alfia. What a swing. Slow orb as well. The Prowler, though. Unfavorable fight for him to take. But the slow orb, it was off. It slowed this down. Boaster now, he's anchored it right behind Dice. The crosshair placement was good, but he can't find the kills. It's going the way of Leviathan.
And tragedy strikes there for Boaster. One and who knows what, 1 and 7, something like that on the stats at the moment. Unable to find those crucial mid-round kills that his team needs. And while the retakes have been looking good so far, there's just no chance for it this time.
Yeah. I mean, look at that Leviathan. They realize, okay, well, can't lean over towards B too much because they've swapped up their setup. We'll just take it fast into Cat this round.
But Alfia looks so awkward there, trying to anchor A main on his own. He's not connected with Boaster. They're not playing off each other. And perhaps this could get a little pricey for Leviathan, but it's about all that Mystic can ask for.
A couple of players still with plenty of money, so...
Alfia's position is so awkward. When he throws down, they're playing off the trademark contact, but by the time the trademark sees anybody on catwalk, or a tree rather, they're already in, they're already on top of him. So when Alpha puts up the wall, it just gets broken. It can't reinforce, you don't have the full 1,000 health. And he doesn't have a teammate playing off, so they can't reactively go and fight A main. He just gets baited into taking a poor fight. And what a kill that is from King. Boaster massively favored, but just can't hit the shot.
Boaster does play that position a lot. When he's trying to anchor down onto the A site, just behind that Dice position.
And this is a sloppy buy.
It is.
FNATIC looking like they're about to go 2-6 down if...
Where
Oh, no, they've got it.
They do have a full buy.
Oh, yeah,
Ends
sorry.
up working out for them, regardless of that. First engagement doesn't work out for them.
Yeah, the first engagement not going their way. And here you see a similar kind of setup over anchoring A. LEVIATÁN is kind of on his own over in a tucked position where...
It is awkward, isn't it?
Once you break the trademark, LEVIATÁN's just alone. He's walled off A main this time.
A minute 15 in, so...
And Boaster's in a position where he could try and play off him. So now, this looks a little more sensible from FNATIC as they look to fight Cat.
Retaking the space. Really? Pushing so deep. Bullet through the box. Doubled up, FNATIC.
Taking a page out of Paper X or Leviathan's book. Just choosing a point in the round to fight.
But Verso, I mean, this is what he was forged in. This is what he was ready for. A tip-tap Boaster, he wins it out. Great movement.
A great round. Great impact. 1 and 7 and finds 2 kills. Crucial mid-round kills.
Wells lurks his way in. TP's to the cross. Throws an unknown quantity into the round. Extra 4 more! That's unfortunate, both players. But as Melzu comes out on top, now down to the 2v2, but a fast response still. The spike, quite a distance away, and the FNATIC players are ready to fight this one.
These are the rounds where Melzo was breaking the backs of XZ. Finds one of the picks up towards heaven, expects the second player.
That's immaculate.
And Takulia sprays him down with a little bit of help. It's another one of those massive rounds from Melzo, Brent.
It is. Lurks through, finding the kills, creating the space, holding it. And this is Leviathan running away with a half. The money situation, Josh, I mean, invested all their money into it. It was a good buy in this round. It can be left with, again, scraps coming into this next round. And it is a case of, feel it. Yeah. Energy being taken away by Leviathan. Top of the scoreboard, Takulia. This guy, this just feels like his map.
FNATIC forced down onto an eco with some sloppy play. They're going to take a timeout. Coach Mini trying to have a little bit of input here. Not only does their defensive setup looks like it's got a few holes in it, you know, awkward positions from Alpha, Melzer being able to slip through the cracks and punish Boaster. Not only that, but, you know, in the final moments there, Enzo Mystic not really playing with each other on the attempt to swing back through heaven, just playing a series of 1v1s.
Yeah.
That is what FNATIC need to avoid. The more chaotic and sloppy this match gets, the more Leviathan are in their comfort zone.
Absolutely. That's what they were forged in.
And it's not just the individualism, obviously, though, because on Ascent, they showcase a deep understanding of how to work this triple initiator comp. I was so excited to see teams running this. There's not that many at the tournament still on it. No. DRX have moved away from it. It's Optic, it's Leviathan. And Leviathan have got a really nice idea of how to work their attack side.
So many tools that they can use. You've seen this opening protocol by them on their attack side. Every single time it's like a Prowler, the recalled smokes, and able to take the space. Not really set up quite for it in this round. I think maybe anticipating an aggressive play from them because the money's not too good for FNATIC right now. Just holding in Gelato.
And Durka may be the player to go for that aggro peak. A Prowler spots Takulia hiding on top of the truck.
That is great diligence just to try and clear out Boaster. There's nothing he can do there. There was a pull behind him, a Prowler, the flash.
The amount of utility that Leviathan have access to is monstrous, but actually they use it all as well. Which might sound silly, but there's some teams that play this comp that don't really use all of the tools at their disposal.
Not thinking about it too much. So still wants to take some risks, obviously. Doesn't have to worry about giving away any sort of weapon or losing one. Flash through, see him take a catcher player just through that smoke, but the Leviathan players with 40 seconds left in this round, there's a bit of a contact rotation, moving their way through. This is a really nice wall in terms of the timing.
Yeah, the wall has just gone up here. It might make Durka and Alfia feel like there's nobody
30
here,
seconds
but
left.
with the fact that they didn't see anybody towards tiles, here, now the utility comes through, and they're ready for it.
Being used to clear the corner, Durka, he's been spotted out. Off to the side, the positioning was known. Melzer hunts him down, and now they work their way into the side, jumping around, making sure they can avoid it. Elfia! The shots finding him, and the damage is still done. He set his team up for success. But right now, it's the rest of the FNATIC players that have to capitalize. A beautiful horn. The spike needs to be stuck, and the setup is there. What a round from Alfia.
He was the man on Fracture, and he's done it again for them on this round of Ascent. Beautiful shots with the Sheriff, but also Leviathan messing up a little bit in terms of the time pressure. Nobody breaking that Sage wall because they didn't want to give away the fact that they were in A main, playing to deny information instead of open up an avenue for them. They all funneled through a tiny choke point.
That. And then Enzo at the end as well, the Haunt lineup, knowing that there was pressure on them, the time pressure.
Yeah, and beautiful value.
The Ares buy.
But Fnatic are barely being able to hold on in this half. The 4 rounds that Leviathan got off the rip, and then maybe this Thrifty can be a slight twist in the momentum so far, but it's another fast mid-take from Leviathan. They're constantly getting this area of the map and never being punished.
Whenever they do it, you'd expect maybe like an aggressive play towards the other extremities. This time around, you can see Fnatic are making a play towards B main. In fact, the trademark's triggered. I think that's an intentional sound bait. They're trying to get Takelia to swing wider because Durka, he found the perfect timing and avoided it earlier. I love this call.
It is a great one. Durka has to just make sure that he doesn't get too antsy here. He's already made the play that can deliver him a kill. Patience is required. Unfortunately, Taco not going to walk into the trap.
No, not taking the bait.
Taco, though, goes back and collects the spike. And the great thing about Leviathan's mid-control is they can pivot to either direction. Alfia's wall has been broken over towards Catwalk.
Yep.
It may make them think the trademark's in a different spot, but Durka's essentially been putting it mid or tree every time.
You are divided.
Across now, Cosmic Divide cut across.
And it's
and
another
no
fake.
plan to try and sell it, yeah.
30 seconds
That's the
left.
goal of this one, to sell the fake. Durka moves backwards onto the side, but with that kill onto King, they have to realize, surely, this is going to be ending towards the A side. Boaster revealed up, but no one's watching that corner. Playing around, weaving in and out of the wall. 2 kills found, and he's got the backup. Alfie, he's there with him. Spike dropped down. And with 12 seconds left in the round, Leviathan, they've dropped the ball.
Trying to get a bit too funky, perhaps. Mel's Cosmic Divide, it doesn't help them there. Trying to get in. Boaster finding his impact rounds and helping Fnatic put another one up on the board. This half now not looking as terrible as it once did. 4-6 off the back of a Thrifty. And a huge play by Boaster. Take a look at the replay here as well. He is lit up. And Taco has no idea where he's at.
But the trade is so delayed from the Leviathan players.
But
just don't
part
want
of
to go
it is
through the wall.
They've got no vision. They've got no audio cues.
Yeah.
The wall is designed to be a cool fake play over towards B. And it's a nice idea. It certainly had the Fnatic players scrambling, but not enough to remove the site anchors on A.
Roaring their way back into the half. Now for what feels like the first time in a while, Leviathan. A couple of players digging into the bank to buy up into this round with weapons. Still, the economy looks like it's in good shape. They end up losing it, and look at this pressure that's being applied. Alfie, yeah!
Oh,
what an angle! Space being taken, but no further attempts after it. Just a kill.
Yeah, but it's an awesome play by King. He suppresses Alpha, yeah. And as Alpha runs backwards, knowing he can't slow, can't wall, the Leviathan players just hunt him down.
Yeah.
No quarter given.
Fnatic at the minute mark. Clear this one, and I appreciate the attempt by Boaster. Just a contact jiggle into it, but it's being held.
But the timing also is so rough. They've just cleared B main. They have to be towards A or mid. Boaster just walks into them. Now Mystic does something very similar, but wins the duel. The flash!
What a play by Mystic! Flash into mid, and why not? Down a couple of players, but you've set your team up now, son.
What a performance. Can Durka finish this one out? Melzer will die with a single shot.
Beautiful.
And Durka,
Beautiful.
one tap on Adverso.
Off the Prowler. It
Yeah.
lashes onto a player that distracted. The crosshair placement isn't going to be there.
Round in the half.
And those are the solo plays that we've normally seen coming out from Leviathan. But Mystic makes it happen in mid.
Amazing, amazing stuff.
And I just want to point out how rough of a tournament Mystic was having before this. Even in their win, he was really struggling to find the same value that he has been online. But my word, he has stepped up for this match. Said with some real primal energy there.
And now we end up with another timeout, this time Leviathan. This is the final round of the first half, by the way. Using the timeout, seeing if they can discuss what can they do, make sure that they get the edge coming into the next half.
And what's insane as well is, it feels like Leviathan have been in control of this half, but Fnatic are clawing their way back into it. And Leviathan won the pistol, Leviathan won the bonus, and then since then, FNATIC beat them on an eco round and are now starting to win some gun rounds. And it's almost like FNATIC are the better team if you take away the pistol and the momentum at the start.
They've been playing very scared, I think, with the defensive setups that they've had early on. Not really playing much towards A main or B main control in the early parts of this half, but as it's got later and later, more willing to re-clear areas together, more willing to make a solo play like that and fight fire with fire.
And perhaps the fire is what FNATIC need. Mystic certainly got it in his chest right now. And Mystic's got a great ultimate to use here too. The null command could shut down a Leviathan push deep on. This composition is so much about the utility if Mystic can find the right timing for it. But this feels like a fast B hit and Enzo destroys them.
No one watching it, no one ensuring that they destroy that one ability. And the players of Leviathan crumbling one after the other.
I'm confused. I'm sure FNATIC are confused as well. But Takolea finds an opening pick here. Alpha and Boaster are waiting for it. What was this from Leviathan? So many of their previous rounds looked structured, whether they were going quickly or slowly. This one, they just fell to pieces off the rip.
Good luck, Adverso. Yeah, that timeout, whatever they decided to cook up. I mean, a lot of time to stew, and even more so now that the half has ended, 6-6 being the scoreline. FNATIC, what a response from them to bring it even, Josh.
And it's the same scoreline on their defensive half that they had against Paper X. They weren't quite able to get the job done. But I think the way that this half has played out, the fact that they were able to get some clutch, the clutch thrifty round that they did, and then win some gun rounds towards the end, it feels like they have momentum back in their core.
Magical, magical stuff so far. And it's only going to get better, I think, as this entire map just begins to heat up. Let's send it over to the analyst desk. They can break down all the action that we've just seen. Thank you very much. Yeah, Desk Crew. I mean, you guys are highlighting some great points, I think, as well. The compositional question that we've got about FNATIC now switching over to their attack side. And this pistol round, maybe converting it into the bonus. So important for them up against Leviathan. But think about it now, Josh. Elimination match on the line with this map, Leviathan. They have to convert this to stay in the series and stay in the tournament.
The pistol rounds have been incredibly instrumental. Boaster throwing down a one-way, actually, over towards B main in an attempt to take control. Haven't really seen any omens go for this one. And he just backs off, running away from the cat, chasing him down.
But notice it was only him shooting it. They didn't want to reveal that there were multiple players waiting in B main, and that's the key.
They will, however, hear Durka popping down his rendezvous and know that there's a couple of people around here.
And here comes the hit.
It looks like the big pop.
Yep, a bit of pace now behind this one. What is that? Shug dart into it. All followed up. Was that a seize on top of it as well to bring them low enough for just a one-shot?
Yeah, I believe so.
You've got to be kidding me.
Cannot use that.
Just an incredible combo there.
And it's going to take heroics for FNATIC to find their way in, but Adverso at the back of the side. This guy's feeling himself now. The Prowler latches on, 4 kills. Ace denied, but another round for him. Leviathan, so consistent is their approach. Every time it feels like just able to claw away these pistol rounds.
And that is 3 out of 4 pistols.
Wow.
Going the way of Leviathan in this series, which is just insane. That's 8 out of 10 in their last 2 matches. They are dominant. Take a look at this one. Shock dart is out, and that's just the fade. The C's comboing up. It's, of course, the Astra gets the assist there as well, but that's just for the smoke. There was no gravity well happening there, no vulnerable.
That had to have been frame perfect. The shock dart has to go off after the C's.
Yeah, really.
Obviously only doing the decay damage there.
Really well coordinated play. But Durka's had enough.
Bro, I feel like I've seen this before. Literally in the first half.
Take flight.
FNATIC lost the pistol. Durka opens it up when they're on an eco.
Whoa, overheat moment from Adverso as well, expecting mid perhaps to be safe for some reason, no idea why.
This could be the end that FNATIC were looking for. Enzo just has to try and reposition, but they are being caught. Trying to go for the double swing, spraying it down with the Spectre. Still 1v2, Durka. Anything's possible with this guy, but shot not being found there. Leviathan eventually finding that anti-eco round.
What a bonkers way of playing the anti-eco from Leviathan. Not only does Adverso walk down mid, but then you have an aggressive push happening in B main, an aggressive push happening in A main, and you've got a player in a one and done on Cat. Any of those 3 players could have been barreled over and lost Leviathan the round, But I think this just goes to reinforce the point. They are never afraid to make some kind of crazy play.
Always with confidence.
And for Fnatic, that must be so difficult to predict.
But a buy around now. Weaponry's good. Leviathan losing enough players that they're really just working with bottom of the barrel. Bargain bin weaponry. Drone doesn't clear the corner. Boaster, well, what a way to set yourself up. Damage being done. Tries to teleport to safety.
Adverso is not making it out of there, and that is a hard read from Fnatic. Leviathan on their bonus rounds on Ascent have been going for that triple push. In fact, they've been doing it on Thrifty rounds too. But we've seen enough of Leviathan on Ascent so far that Boaster's got the read, tucks himself in the corner, the drone doesn't spot him, and they're able just to mow down Leviathan.
Absorb and audio aggression.
Yeah, that's prep advantage right there.
So, should be the easiest round in the world for Fnatic. Although I've said that in the past, and sometimes doesn't come up with it, but...
Mel's has been nuts, but I haven't seen him do it with a Bucky.
Yeah, that would be great. That would require, I think, old Bucky.
That would be something
Running and
else.
gunning. Back when it wasn't nerfed, but... Lovely, lovely stuff from Fnatic, I think, to try and drag this one even. But just to really hammer home, I think, the overall points here. Because this is still the elimination match between these teams. I think the pressure is a little bit different
enemy remaining.
when it comes to how much is applied to Fnatic, how much is applied to the Leviathan. Fnatic, people do expect the world of this team, especially with their full roster in. We've been waiting a long time to see this, not being issued any sort of obstacles or issues for them to actually play.
Now, I really like this read from Boaster, and of course he gets caught. But then, Durka has died to the spike there, and they've actually got a bit of an... like one player with light armor, a bulldog out here. They could have kept that a little cleaner. We'll see whether it makes a difference. Of course, it's just a good job for Fnatic winning the anti-bonus, the first one of the match so far.
I like this. This is catching on to 4 of them! An extra element added in, Leviathan going for that tiles crunch. We've seen it used so much over the course of this event.
And it should be one that Fnatic are ready for too, but they just didn't see it coming. Lost Boaster off the rip. They actually broke some of the utility that would light the world up for Adverso and allow him to be very accurate with the spam, but when 4 people are tethered, it feels like you're guaranteed to get one.
The cherry on top, wasn't it? Bit of decay damage, the Odin spam. Guaranteed, and Takulia off angle. So difficult to clear out the chamber player when they're playing in that kind of angle. They got the teleport that they can just get back to safety easily enough.
And Boaster making the decision there to just dry peek it and try and skill diff Taco instead of using a Prowler or a Haunt or whatever, some kind of flash around the corner. Fnatic are struggling in this round so far. Caught by one of Leviathan's excellent set plays on Ascent and left with no map control, punished by the operator.
With 30 seconds left in the round, looking like they're just going to be opting to save into it.
Yeah, and while dull, I think this is absolutely the right play.
Yeah, it is the right play to make.
They didn't even come into this round with a great buy. They had light armor, they had bulldog to work with. And Leviathan, their map pool, sorry, not their map pool, their strat book, the playbook, it doesn't go crazy deep on this map. But the defense side, they do a lot of stuff very well, and they still have a couple of very good set plays. They'll go for that triple push out of B main with the drone. They'll go for the play that we just saw in this round with the C's lineup and Adverso spams from Catwalk. And then the majority of where Leviathan are going to get their round wins on defense is by playing these excellent retake kind of setups where there's players flooding into site, throwing utility for the site anchors, helping them either hold off or go for a fast retake. At this point, Fnatic haven't even got into those situations.
No, I think they're feeling... not to keep using the same word here, but there's definite pressure on their shoulders when it comes into this one, but opposition not suited for this attack side of things. Already the rendezvous being peeled out there by Durka, just using it to make sure you know, forces in a bit of utility out of Leviathan, making sure that they can clear through B main, and King was still holding onto that flash.
Think about the start of Leviathan's rounds, how quickly they had mid control, or any extremity if they wanted to play there instead.
Right off the jump.
Fnatic are so grouped up in tiles right now. There's a minute 15 on the clock. Sure, it's still a lot of time to work with. But they're having to contact walk around, and at any of these angles, might run into Taco and just lose a player instantly.
Tremont off to the side, wall deep in mid. FNATIC. At this point, it's obvious that it's going to be the B-split play. Shy playing up close, and Personal is in the smoke. And just from the haunt, most afford to just commit to the one side or the other. Hunter's Fury now locking him off straight down mid. Alpha is removed.
How did that one get Alpha? Awesome play by Shy as well. Forced Enzo away, and now the spike rattling its way around to try and meet up with Mystic. If Mystic can find them a kill, but Adverso just sneaks his way around the corner and re-swings with an Odin.
No
way.
Every play working here for Leviathan. And Melza's going to show him how a sight anchor works.
Up onto the site, high ground position, and there it is. Final blow there for Melza. A round win again, and this is Leviathan firmly in control now.
Firmly, completely. FNATIC can't put a bite together for the next round. Maybe one player will have some kind of hero rifle. Look at this play. The haunt that Shy throws stops Enzo from being in a position to support Boaster.
And this Hunter's Fury, I'm pretty sure it's just being used to peel for Shy, right?
Yeah.
The entire time, just
yeah,
remain.
absolutely.
And Alpha here just gets caught.
Yeah, just trying to find the timing on going for that mid push. I mean, the angle that Adverso is ulting through catches people in both positions.
You want to play? Let's play.
Intentional.
Recon ball taken down there. Something that Adverso can afford to throw out because they have so much utility with the triple initiator comp. And it's Alpha, yeah, with a hero Vandal. Asked to do the impossible for FNATIC and get them back into Ascent.
And the youngster's been good for it in the past. But with these kind of circumstances, it's
Here.
a bit of a tall order. Tour de force for Durka. Powerful ultimate that they could use, and Alpha Year, what a way to begin things. Melza's dealt with. Smoke's now going to be starting to drop down, but again, not too much in terms of utility being used. Finally, now you see the ult up and the angle watch. Takolia, he's got it locked. The reposition. Adverso, close to the door. Needs a bit of help from the rest of his teammates. Off to the side. Boaster, he TP'd in. Managed to hit a straight shot, but damage is not enough. Damage doesn't equate a kill.
It's a tragedy for him. There were opportunities to make this round dangerous, but Leviathan dealt with them all. Going to be going up to 11-7 here with a 4-round lead on their map pick. And this triple initiator comp looks awesome in their hands.
These guys are sailing away. Only
They
one
haven't-
round game for FNATIC in this half, Josh.
And they haven't even really been tested. The round 15 was Leviathan going aggressive, and Boaster reads it, and anti-strat, you get the round done. But apart from that, once Leviathan just chill out and ask FNATIC to win the rounds instead of being given them, FNATIC have got nothing.
Yeah.
Nightfall in the hands of Enzo may make some level of difference, but King's Null Command is a fantastic tool as well in this fight. Oh, Taco!
shot.
He's just so aggressive.
Pushing out. This is his map. Always a dominant performance is what you can come to expect when this guy's on Ascent. Always putting up the numbers.
And taking liberties with the attack in default.
This jump spot by Melza. Information gained. Sees two heads just over the top of it. Drops down the smoke. The pull now forced out of him, but immediately, look at that, he repositions closer.
And on the other side of the map, Shy is getting information that there's nobody towards B main. So Leviathan can be pretty confident this is coming into a... Oh, recon dart.
No one
breaks it. It just lights up 3 players.
And they're still trying to commit into this one. They're running right into the Odin spam. What is going on here for FNATIC? A wall up top. Boast is going to teleport. That's a high ground angle that he can play around, and he has found them a kill. Is it going to be enough, though? The pressure that's being applied, the swing out of it. FNATIC players, they lock down the angles. It's enough about a moment, and they do hold it for the re-swing, but 30 seconds remaining in the round. They do not know where Takolia is. Panic, fear being placed into them.
Takolia is essentially AFK here. As King dies, maybe Taco does something, but is he just playing for the retake completely?
Just holding down the angle.
10 seconds left.
Just no reaction whatsoever. Might see a tech timeout even.
Yeah, even out or something's gone wrong in the round, because yeah, that is just the angle being watched from him.
And FNATIC are gifted a lifeline there. They did earn it though. Getting into that round, the shots that Mystic and Alpha Air hit, dealing with players swinging Heaven and swinging Tree, they forged their own entry into the site, and it looked awful for them.
All over the place.
It looked horrendous. Leviathan had players left, right, center. It looked like Melzer might be able to lock the round down.
Yeah.
But FNATIC here at some point are going to realize that Taco is not attempting this one. And while we don't have any inside information, I mean, it looks like Taco's just having a tech issue. Maybe he's just holding this area down and saving the op for the next round, but
FNATIC are going to be gaining this round. One more to put under their belt. Something to kind of stem.
as I said, 7-11, with that round being rolled back for FNATIC. So the only one they have on their board is round 15. We'll see if they can replicate it now that the game is actually 5v5.
That round was so scrappy just prior. There was nothing strategy-wise it felt like that they were really doing. It was just brute force the way they barreled through. I mean, that's something that they've got going for them if they can do it.
Here comes Adverso with the Odin.
Once more, holding this down, the Haunt. Try and combo it up, and this is just being pre-fired. All the damage being done. Durga forced to teleport away so early.
Takes a chunk of damage too. And this knife lineup on the other side of the map stops Melzer from being able to get into a wine. A crucial 0-point lineup, because so many of these players have been getting huge plays out of wine. Boaster is in such an unusual spot. Will Taco think about it? Will Taco go for a swing?
It looks like this is just an incredibly narrow angle that's being held. If you're expecting players up there with the smoke popped off, you do not push this, surely not. You have to be a maniac.
This is Leviathan we're talking about.
King's set up a deep knife for a bit of information. I'm wondering if he can try and flash into mid for him, but I don't think from the positioning that he's playing. Taco's job there just to hold the smoke, making sure nobody lurks inside of it.
And it does appear from the min-map that this is going to be a B pop.
40 seconds.
Adverso's just got his recon dart back online. Here it comes, broken instantly by Durka. Oh, headshot.
Mystic so low.
Falling down to 57 HP.
The shock dart damage. Durka's so low in all this utility. Slams right into them. Where is the oomph behind this hit? Prowler up top, walling as well up into the window. Alpha here, he just cannot get the line of sight angles. He can't do any damage. Not when the angle's being hugged so close, and Adverso locks it down but does not expect it. Alvia finally getting rewarded, but 12 seconds in this one, the spike needs to be planted.
10 seconds
the silver lining for FNATIC is that there was no one there to help Leviathan. A paranoia to allow Mystic to get raised. The flash just a little too late.
Counter spam. King is so low here, but he still pushes through with the flash and eventually punished. Enzo up close and personal, a bit of a jiggle when it comes to the movement. Melzer, how do you find that one? The head of Mystic just ripped straight off, but still is down to the 2v4. FNATIC, a round that they are primed to take here.
Able to replicate the previous one that they pulled together, this time on the opposite side. A 4v2 cannot go wrong for them. Surely the time is just far too low. And it looks like from Melzer and Taco's perspective, they just want to do economic damage. It's all going to be important.
Backing away. A round gain for FNATIC.
And it didn't look like they were going to be able to do it. No. With Adverso anchoring there onto B. Oh, Durka died again. That happened earlier. That happened round 15 as well. They get the round win and Durka's too slow to exit, loses a Vandal. That's huge. It may not make the impact this round, but if FNATIC keep surviving with only 2 players remaining, they might even have to take an eco despite winning at some point here. Only 1 light armor though for now, so not getting currently punished.
The important factor being that FNATIC have finally got that additional round that they were looking for in this half, but not much of a buffer available to them. When you think about Leviathan, what a recon. The flick actually bringing Boaster down to 57 health. One-way setup for Enzo to see if he can take control of this, but every single round it feels like, every single kill, so hard fought.
Shy will try and punish here. Prowler connects. Durka jumps away a little bit. Shy is desperate to take a fight, doesn't really have anybody to play off, although King could send a flash through B main for him.
Approach from FNATIC, the Haunt over the top, broken. Presence. B main still being known, but that's going to be the knife across, or not even a knife. Mystic just popping that ultimate. Smoke drop down at a choke point means it's going to be difficult for FNATIC to try and get their way through this one. The Haunt removed, but Durka, what a swing, what a kill. King taken out, and they double up, taking the fight, the numbers advantage under the belt here for Fnatic, but they need to get into this site cleanly. The Cosmic Divide caused a bit of a problem for them. Mystic, though,
30 seconds
should
left.
be able to get that plant going down. Melter and Takulia making it dangerous, but still now opting into that save.
And this round looks like the one where Fnatic are going to be able to keep their weapons. They got into the site, Durka finding big entries for them, trading out effectively too, and just relying on that death ball approach. It always looks like there's potentially one swing or one piece of spam that Leviathan could be sending in there and ruining the round for Fnatic. They're living life on the narrowest of margins here, Fnatic, but they're getting away with it. Off the back of some big entries, nice trading. And this is finally going to stabilize the economy for Fnatic. They have some breathing room at last. But not in the map, not when it comes to the rounds. They need to keep delivering.
They do. Fortunately, they're still ahead in the series as well. Points are still considered, I think. At the end of the day, it's Leviathan that are the ones sitting at that.
From Fnatic and find out where they are on the map, and they have people ready to rotate and retake. I still think Leviathan are in a prime position to take this one away and send us to a third. They're within touching distance.
They are. You can't drop the ball now. Got to try and stay in this series.
And the Leviathan players are so close to some big ultimates as well. Hunter's Fury, Nightfall.
Is this a fight that was B main? And how aggressively is Durka going to be taking this one? Takulia with the operator in his hands. Destroy deals with that one, with the Haunt destroyed. Even putting down the trademark aggressively.
Look at this. A one-way smoke to try and block the recon dart that Adverso has been occasionally throwing.
That's kind of interesting.
Don't know whether he actually used it at the beginning of this round. He doesn't have the recon, so he must have used it somewhere, but I was watching the fight in B main. Nevertheless, cool idea from Boaster. And they're all grouped up.
Melter Seals seems aware though. This could be being played. A bit of run and gun as he moves across the smoke there. Repositioning of Boaster set up now. Paranoia holding, ready and waiting. A Prowler into the corner. Melter is in trouble, but where is the support from the rest of them? The fragment nade stops him in their tracks. A wall across to cut this one up. High ground, low ground positions that they can try and make a mark with. Still need to deal with this door position, King.
And they need to go forwards as well. Okay, now Fnatic start to take their spaces deeper and deeper into the site.
Jeez, Hunter's Fury. That's a latch on, surely. Avoiding it, dodging it, but it means that the movement and positioning is predictable. Adverso gets a pick off. 3 players left alone for Fnatic now to try and hold this in this post plant.
And if Shy gets a kill, Nightfall back on line 2. A player advantage for Leviathan. And these retakes have been awesome before. They have Horned, they have 2 flashes.
Cleared out of it. Boaster just going for a bit of spam there into the smoke, but the counter plays in action still. The cross, ready and waiting. Alfia and Durka, last 2 left. Against Leviathan and Shy, Adverso dropping down. The recon dart, someone needs to break it, but positioning is now gained, and knowledge. A shock dart, back again. Nightfall to the fuse, right off of it, Alfia! What a play! Swings into it, no sound cues to work off of, but just a raw precision.
That is some awesome spray control from Alpha, yeah. Great work from Durka and Alpha to save that round. Take a look at this one on the replay. Alpha gets an opener by playing on top of his wall. Then he punishes Taco. And look at this spray control from Alpha, yeah. Grabs the first player and whips his crosshair around.
Pure magic coming out from the young gun. What a play to make. And the momentum of this match. Of each map, it feels like each team just getting just that little bit more FNATIC now one more round away from evening it up. And the aggressive play from Takulia.
It wasn't going to get punished, but he just couldn't find the pick. He had an idea of where Boaster was, could hear the teleport. He knew he wasn't going to get punished there and just goes for the swing at tiles. How can you not be a fan of plays like that, but it doesn't quite get the job done this time.
Still finding the confidence to do it, but it looks like FNATIC vacating their way away from A.
And they're going to give Takulia another opportunity at this one.
He's posted up this time into B main. Did I even expect this one? A drone into mid. Doesn't see anything. But look at this angle. It is everything. I think FNATIC may be opting to try and fake this one out with the paranoia. A smoke as well. It's not enough to push Takulia away from the angle. The timing is slightly off of FNATIC still. Boaster wants to take the space. Teleporting into his own smoke, and look at that timing at Verso. Corner utility out, but Shy holds the angle once more.
And this round is chaos. That's where Leviathan love to see it. A wall used just to stop Tackle pushing behind them and give them an angle where they can go and help Enzo, who's just been stuck in A main the whole time.
Fragment, King spotted out there, gonna be taken out. It's an easy kill for FNATIC. They found their way into the site, but they need to deal with the players at the back. Melza gets one, but now swarmed, surrounded, needs the help of Takulia. Coming through, the time running so low. What is that? The FNATIC players unable to clear out Melza. The time being bought. And Takulia sprinting to help his teammate.
And it's both of the pistols that end up doing it. Just absolute chaos on the field. And Leviathan can feel the momentum building here. Look at this play. Misses the first shot, headhunter whipped out instantly. But the time was so incredibly low. I'm not sure whether Enzo could have even done anything there. And the difference in reactions between the two coaches says it all.
You want to play? Let's play.
Durka has his tour de force online, starting to move things towards mid. One of the first rounds where we've seen FNATIC start to use this utility early on, but they're not going deep off the back of it quickly. Just holding, watching for someone on Leviathan to try and contest.
And Leviathan are so close to bringing it to that map 3.
Which, again, we have no idea how Bind's going to go. But
All set up.
we still might have a few more rounds to play here.
Doing everything in their power to stop them in their tracks. 5 health. That's what Durka gets dropped down to.
Wild. Althea does have the heal. But Durka will still be on very low HP. Oh, and King with the re-clear.
No way.
Didn't
and a
have
flash
any
on
idea.
top of it. Enzo's going to be dodging it. The paranoia across, cutting them away. Enzo's able to get one, but the players, the Leviathan players, still deep on the site. Locking down. And moments away now. What can Durka do? Doesn't have the health. Missing the shot. Left alone against the mighty Leviathan. It's inevitable at this point. And just like that, we will be going to map 3.
Leviathan very firmly put themselves in the conversation for one of the best teams on Ascent. FNATIC, they're always close when it comes to this map, but it just feels like they can never get the job done. Fist bumps all around. They know that there's still a job to be done as we head into Bind. But for the Leviathan guys, that is going to fire them up, give them confidence that this team is beatable, that they can win, that they can progress. Take a look at some of the replays and highlights of this map. Remember that play? Absurd from Durka. But FNATIC just never felt like they could get the small moments cascading into something bigger. The wild amounts of utility available to Leviathan at all times was so good.
And the plays that were being made as well. Leviathan had so many core ideas that they had coming into this. They've looked like potentially one of the best teams when it comes to Ascent. Playing on this map in particular, just something about it unlocks the talent on this roster. But we're heading into Bind as our 3rd and final map in this series. And it's everything to play for. For both of these teams, the elimination, they're in the lower bracket, that chance to play on stage.
Both teams one map away from making top 4 at this Masters event. And I don't know whether anyone had that on the bingo card for Leviathan.
No.
But Leviathan are doing so incredibly well.
Absurd performance from both of these teams. Let's send it over to the analyst desk after this short break. Of course, to break down the action and set up that critical map number 3. Don't go anywhere.
What a response from Leviathan. They bring things to map points, third map even, match point, there we go. That was too exciting. My brain is way too scrambled from the fact that Leviathan managed to close it out in the fashion that they did, despite the comeback Fnatic were building. But Bala, this is why we don't underestimate this team on this map.
Yeah, no, they really put a spin on this comp where it really felt like their own. They had all of the ideas working for them, the triple initiator, the amount of stuff they can get with just a haunt and a dart by itself really made Fnatic cave in a lot of instances on that attack side. So very impressive game from Leviathan.
They also have a little bit of mechanical skill to match with it, which is nice, that's for sure. They can act off of it. I also think that they capitalized off that utility way better than Fnatic did. There was a couple of times there that they would use, obviously you got a double initiate, or rather the triple, so you've got a lot to be able to work off of. But there was just times where I was like, Fnatic has the opportunity to take advantage of a power position on the map. They have the utility, let's say Mystic's Flash, for example, and they either don't use it or they use it, but then they don't take that space. Whereas Leviathan, even when they didn't have utility to use, they were like, oh, that's a power position. I want it. And these are a couple of these rounds. The C's, when we saw that, we were like, what? But then there's another setup that they have. This is what they do over towards tiles. They will put over a C's, they'll recon it, and then everything they get out of that is capitalized. They do this every time they play this map on the defensive side. And the fact that Fnatic weren't prepared for it is crazy.
And it's so difficult to actually respond to that because it took so long then for Fnatic to actually re-explore mid because of that sort of pressure, right? The Flash conceals the recon ball, they don't shoot it, and that happened so many times. So pivoting over to Fnatic, man, there were a lot of mistakes where they're not breaking recons, they're not breaking haunts, they're giving up the information or actually a whole kill like in that round that we just saw, and that makes it really hard for both of their call where they have to start dry peeking and things, and there was a lot of first deaths that were unforced, or where they were forced from Leviathan that Fnatic were giving up.
I'm sick, like I could have the worst day on earth, and I could be having the better day on the, it wouldn't even matter, but these dry peaks are making my eyes dry. Like, I just want to close my eyes. I'm like, everyone needs to stop swinging without initiating with some kind of utility, because it is blowing my mind how often we're having players do it. I don't know if it's the pressure, I don't know if it's lack of coordination mid to late round, but it's not right. It doesn't feel right for teams like this, especially Fnatic, to be making these unforced errors unnecessarily. Adverso, however, those recons, everything that he's using to be able to push things forward, I think has been really excellent for the side of Leviathan.
Yeah, I think this was a guy who was setting up his team phenomenally. There were so many instances on that defensive side, the second half, where he was darting for Melzer on the site and netting him a kill or two, and then as well to follow up with the Odin that was causing so much trouble in instances where I really felt like Fnatic had the beat, had the idea, and then it was just like, oh, I just can't kill the Odin.
I would love to hear the comms from the side of Fnatic, because it feels like at times there were no comms, and at times there was so much going on that everybody was just like headless chickens when Leviathan just sat back and capitalized off of it. Same as Paper X.
It is, I will say that that is probably the closest call that Leviathan's had on this map, to be able to, you know, bring it into their map pool again and say, this is our standout map, we're going to keep picking it as our first pick if you don't ban it. This is the closest call they've had really so far, and even so, it wasn't Fnatic's most confident performance on that map. So I actually question, like, let's say we go into map number 3, we go into Bind, that is a safe haven, lack of better words, for the side of Fnatic. They should be more confident on that compared to Ascent, at least if I had to make my pick here. I know people, we had Josh talking about the Fade, Venzo, and everything on Ascent. I would say that Bind is definitely somewhere I could put my money on Fnatic.
Yeah, I think that is a good place to go, but I'm looking at the way that this series is going. Close map 1, Fnatic pulls it out after almost throwing that game. Close map 2, but Leviathan was in the lead almost the entire time. They were in control of that map. And now we're going to Bind. Bind is a great map for Fnatic, you're right. But I'm looking at how these guys are playing, and it looks like they've literally done exactly what we were talking about at the beginning. Leviathan is playing for, I mean, they have no pressure. They're laughing. They're having so much fun. On the other side, there's, you know, a couple death slams, Fnatic not being the happiest bunch. Alpha are honestly leading the charge in terms of emotions in certain cases. And I think it makes sense because these guys are under immense amounts of pressure because they're so close to making it to their goal, at least here, top 4. Actually, they're so far from their goal. Let me just repeat that real quick because that, it's hard to figure out exactly where these two teams stand with that in mind.
This is a rude awakening if you're Fnatic. You know, you can be kings in EMEA, you know exactly how your opponents play, but on the international stage, Jess, they just haven't found an answer.
I would be okay rather, let me rephrase how I'm going to say this because I don't want Fnatic fans to get upset. If they lose against Leviathan on Bind right now, the better team won. Why? Because Leviathan hasn't won on this map against a top 3 LATAM team. We're going down the list of teams that are actually beaten on this map, and they're not high-tier teams by any means. You know, no offense, needed, but we're talking about 9Z, we're talking about Crew. They can't beat those 2 teams on Bind, so if they can't beat those 2 teams, there's no way they beat one of the best teams in the world on Bind, and if they do, they have thoroughly deserved to win this best of 3. There was no harder map, in my opinion, for them to try and stake the claim on.
Yeah, I mean, you said we didn't expect Ascent already, so
right.
I'm not saying I'm not going to be surprised at all, because I think that Leviathan has shown so often how good they are, and they've actually expanded a little bit with that Fracture map. My opinion of their map pool is.
True.
Okay. Yeah, I do think people should, see this third map as a, like you said, Jess, Leviathan are in a good position. The momentum's high. We can hear them screaming. The energy is really good when they're winning rounds. You can see how excited and happy they are. Yeah. And on the side of Fnatic, I don't know. I feel like they've never been in this position before. I feel like it's almost like an experiment we're watching. Like, how do these guys respond to this? Alpha's having a great game, but some of the other players on the team, I feel like the synergy is off.
Fnatic will start on the attack. They had a really poor first half on Ascent. We said that was not enough rounds for them. We were pretty confident we come in. That turns out to be true. As a result, we'll probably find out in the first half as well what that might bode for them.
Well, we're into the Prime Gaming Agent Select now. Both of these comms you see on your screen are what they ran the last time we saw them. Bala, surely Fnatic, they won't change anything.
No, absolutely not. I don't think that they've been really working on this map in terms of a lot of new stuff. And same thing for Leviathan as well. And it's almost a mirror, but the chamber for Taco here.
Are out.
Instead, yeah, exactly.
The guns
Boast
are
is
out
like,
now.
that's it, I've had enough.
He's rolled the sleeves up.
I mean, Boast had
Back to being a fighting game character.
Well, that's the thing, is that he usually, on the international stage doesn't have the best of games, but he's come into this tournament and just ripped it apart as well. So there are moving pieces on the side of Fnatic that are ready to go.
Well, both sides, they have to step up here. Elimination is on the line. Josh and Brent, I can't wait to see who comes out on top.
The stage is definitely set, isn't it, Yinsu, for an absolutely majestic game between these 2 teams. And a reminder, Josh, as well, Fnatic have had their troubles in the past with these LATAM teams, back in champs as well, going up against Crew. It was Fnatic that went out in the quarterfinals.
Yeah,
and
in a big upset.
A big upset. You might be looking at a similar tale here today, because this does bring up good points on top of this. We're going to Bind, a map that, honestly,
Fnatic love that.
Fnatic love this map. They're one of the best Bind teams in the world, in my opinion. So why would they bring it here? I mean, listen, Leviathan, they had a choice, Josh. They had a choice.
Yeah, they could have gone Haven or Bind. Leviathan deliberately chose to send things Bind. That would make me a little cautious if I was Fnatic. What have they got prepared for us?
Deep flash just for the information. That's just for now from Leviathan, and it's a bit of pace. They're not messing around. All 5 players just wandering, running all the way down, straight through into Elbow, trying to punish the play. How does Shy get away with that? The kill going his way, and already the approach is there. The round, it's just over. Blink of an eye.
You blink and you miss it. Leviathan, they win the pistol again. And Brent, I've lost count. They win every pistol.
Again.
They've only lost 2 across the game with Fnatic and Exet. It just feels like these pistol rounds, they're almost perfect.
Put so much effort into their pistol rounds, into their bonus rounds, making sure that they can convert them.
Yeah, absolutely true.
Such similar scenes.
And for Fnatic, no plant down, no opportunity to force, even if they had wanted to. And these pistol round losses have just been absolutely devastating for them. Fnatic have actually had better gun rounds on some of the halves that they've either drawn or lost at this point. Because Leviathan are just getting out to 4-0 leads so early. A little bit of damage there onto Boaster. Applies the vulnerable onto 3 of those players too. Fnatic haven't been able to put together a really dangerous second round. This one might look good though.
Yeah, the vulnerability applied. That is a lovely kill onto Adverso. Weapon obtained.
And instantly Shy goes for a reposition.
That's Satchel right into it. They've lined up for it though. Still, the damage is from King. Offloads an aid right before he dies, but Fnatic critically are inside the site. The spike just going to be reclaimed now. Needs to be planted.
Oh, and Boaster almost got destroyed there. Oh. Looking away from the angle.
Oh,
a whip Brimstone Molly missed.
Molly off against the wall. They wanted that to the back of the site so they could try and take some space for the repositioning. No one's expecting a Boaster, just looking around the map.
They're lost. They had no idea that Taco had got in that deep. The awareness, a big problem there for Fnatic, as they had no idea where Leviathan were coming from. The shots ringing out and just not able to react quickly. I think you're seeing nerves, pressure on both sides in that round.
Oh, Leviathan again. Moving over to their bonus, Josh.
But they will have the sting taken out of it. Leviathan are not going to be able to buy up a very good bonus round here, despite the fact, you know, you've got King at like 5-1, this kind of stuff. They just don't have that many weapons. So Fnatic should be able to hold the momentum here. And looking at that stat, Fnatic 3-0 when they get to the third map. But I think you can toss a lot of these domestic stats out the window, to be honest.
Different pressures applied.
Very different. You're seeing a different Fnatic here. One where you can see the weaknesses, you can see the holes. And so far, part of that outclassing has been in the pistol rounds, but we're going to get into it. Round 3. It's not a particularly dangerous bonus on the look of it.
Flash and aid off into the corner just in case the positioning was being played. But immediately, look at that. Leviathan, they're backing away. Retaking the positioning up onto B long.
Extremely active.
Verso tight into the corner here. That's going to be a trademark.
He hasn't been checked.
Tagged off, has not been checked. Playing inside the players right up in his face, Enzo. He salvaged that one. That could have gone completely skew with.
Yeah, what a miracle worker Enzo is there. Saves Mystic's life and potentially saves the round. Adverso looking like he really wants it. I mean, every moment Adverso has to make a play rather than just back off.
Man. He's taking it.
He takes it. He just goes aggro all the time.
And we've been mentioning it over and over and over again, but that is the power of a team that achieved their goals. They've made their champs.
Yeah.
They've got the slot locked up.
And the pressure's off. They just play loose. Now, look at Shy and where he's managed to find himself too. All the way deep in cave. I think this is just going to be to play for exits here. No chance to really convert the third round.
Yeah.
But here's a serious thing to keep in the back of your mind. Fnatic don't play with a chamber on this map. They choose Alpha here to play Viper instead. They're going for the double initiator. You can't have all of those things. You can't have double controller and double initiator and a chamber. You're missing your raise. So Fnatic, what that means is Fnatic don't have the ability to detect pushes coming in from sand, from fountain,
Trademark.
as they go for their site hit. So as they group up to go for an exec over on A or B, there is going to be a period of vulnerability. And the meta in many of these domestic regions has been to try and punish that hole in a composition by going for a lot of flank plays and trying to time them nicely, go for showers pushes, sand pushes, see whether Leviathan come up with something similar. Because so far they've showcased themselves as an aggressive team, not afraid to make plays like that.
Love to make plays like that. It's their bread and butter.
Towards an orb emitting.
One of the other things that Leviathan might have in their heads as a counter strat, they've seen Alpha play this position alone a lot. And there are going to be periods at the time where he's sat there throwing mollies over towards top B long.
And he will be the only player there. It looks like he's setting up for it right now.
And we've seen occasionally teams try to punish it.
There it is. Molly across the sky. This is something that Fnatic have cooked up. It helps them that extra element of utility on top so that Fnatic can take control of B long.
And it crucially allows them to use a molly to do it instead of Trailblazer, Flash. Tools that would be better once you actually go into the site hit. It's smart, a lot of other teams have picked it up, but some teams are trying to counter-strat it too. Have to keep that in the back of our minds. But Fnatic have taken all the space they need to over at B, and this one looks like the exec coming through.
Prowler, Trailblazer, both being used by Fnatic. Not really much position, it's just Mystic now with the Haunt over the top. That's destroyed and a nade at the back of the site. Oh, it's a significant amount of damage at that, but King still survives. The Leviathan players holding it down. And Adverso making moves backwards and forwards around the orbs. The players are to the back of the site. Mystic does have it covered, but he's the only player left alive for Fnatic now.
He knows roughly where Melzer is.
Time.
But the time is not on his side. A little fake tap.
1v1 with the fake tap. Back of the site now. Should be a free plant. He swings into it.
Yeah, expecting Melzer to go for the aggressive play, and I think the read was good, honestly. When you're playing against Leviathan, you've got to expect them to take the aggressive option in most situations. If he sticks the plant there, he's got to be worried that Melzer's going to be pushing him. So it might seem a bit crazy from Mystic. But
he taps it and swings, expecting Melzer to be jumping out of the air.
Yeah, and I think it's a reasonable play. What isn't reasonable, Adverso getting away with it again. Hiding in hookah. How does he keep doing it? He's hiding towards short, hiding towards hookah, going uncleared. On the other side of things, though, take a look at the buy. Leviathan, despite winning, have a very shaky version.
And he's so shaky. Showstopper into the side of her. So dealt with, but King answers back with one of his own. An ultimate for an ultimate, a kill for a kill. Space regained for King. Has to respect that Astra Star on the floor, though. Backs away, wants to try and timing this Prowler, and now an opportunity is afforded for him with the Trailblazer.
The stun
up, stun applied, and the timing is there. The players, they can't see a thing. Mystic up close and personal right at default box to flash into backside. It's an adjustment, a play he needs to make, but he's shut down nevertheless.
And Alpha Enzo trying to play this post plan. Alpha's position has been detected. Nobody on the spike right now in a 2v2.
This crossfire they've got, the Fnatic, despite losing all these players, they should still be favored. Enzo, though, he is low, 30 health to his name, a tap onto it, forcing it out. Now the Haunt in play. Neither side, Leviathan, they don't want to stick this one, whipping out the headhunter. Alpha wins the fight. Time so low, but just about gained. Shy gets it with time to spare. Another round for him.
2 seconds on the clock, roughly, and 2 HP. Leviathan end up winning it in the clutch again. How many moments did they have against XZ where they were able to find these absurd clutches? Their buy in this round was nothing. It was rough. But King is the man. He sets them up. I mean, just not only trading out Turka, but getting back and using all of Shy's utility to push forwards. The Seeker, the dog, whipping around the side. That was gorgeous.
Yeah, filling in the gaps of any spaces.
4-0.
4.
Oh, 4-1, sorry.
4-1. Fnatic drop down into this half by Trailblazer. You hear that shotgun go off, you do get scared, but this time ready for it, and Poster was making a play. Just trying to lurk through into shower, see if he could get away with anything at all. Now it might be Alpha Year's time to shine. Taking a lot of damage, and yeah, just as he tries to make the moves over the top of the box, his head peeking out.
Adverso just so content to swing everything and finding those timings.
These players are so confident.
And hitting every shot.
They're not worried about the fact that they're up against the Sheriffs and the Guardian buys.
They're not worried that they're going up against Fnatic. They simply do not care. These players are bringing their best performances on the global stage. That's what you have to do.
You really do.
And so many players struggle to do that because there's a mystical aura around some of these top teams. Oh, people think Fnatic might be able to win the event. I'll have to back off. I can't take the duels against them. They'll beat me.
This fight.
Leviathan don't think like that. They haven't in any of their games.
No, I mean, you could tell there's something different about Leviathan. The way that they were approaching it, man. I mean, these guys were chilling before some of their biggest matches in this event.
Oh, yeah, they were relaxed. Other teams, you see them around the venue just kind of keeping to themselves, reserved. Leviathan,
maybe.
Laughing, chuckling, chilling. They are really just here to have their first experience at an international event and go as deep as they can. And that's it. Pressure off. On the other side of things, though, Fnatic going to take a timeout. Coach Mini
has to be done.
Trying to have some input on the rest of his players here. Fnatic are going to get the opportunity to buy back in. Massive amount of ultimates available for Fnatic as well. But so far, these attack rounds, the execs just haven't quite been working. There's always a player or a corner that they've missed. Yeah. Somebody that ends up causing chaos and catastrophe.
One variable that they just didn't consider. At any given time, the way that Leviathan play, they're always willing to, you know, how many times are we going to say it? Just take the risks.
And if you had said to me at the beginning of the tournament, who do you think's the best team at controlling chaos? I think I would have said to you, Fnatic.
Sure.
A team like Fnatic. Maybe Guild, their style, the EMEA classic style, is to slow the game down.
And absorb it all.
Yeah, absorb the aggression, shut down the chaos, cancel out your playmaking. But Fnatic have struggled here.
And this is just an outstanding performance from Leviathan. People looked in their match up against XZ, and they looked at that, the scoreline. It was scrappy, it was messy. A lot of people considering them like, okay, Leviathan capitalizing off of maybe an underperformance from XZ, but now stepping up to one of the best teams in the world. But Fnatic, right away, they come up with a good response, an aggressive approach from Leviathan straight through B long, shut down.
And when it's a bit more straightforward like this, Fnatic have been coming up with the answers. Think about round 3 on Ascent. Again, aggression through B main, answered. Here, same kind of thing. Triple aggression, answered fairly easily. Fnatic have been able to control early round playmaking, but Hasn't always been enough.
What a fast round.
Yeah, this round,
it's done.
Done. Dead and gone already.
Saves. And because of how close each of these rounds have been, despite the fact that Leviathan are now going to be, they're 5-2 with the scoreline, they've been losing a lot of their weapons. Every single time it's been made close by FNATIC, been making it costly with the economy.
Yeah, that's a great point. I don't exactly know how many rifles Leviathan are going to be able to have for the next round, but probably not a ton. And FNATIC did use some of their big ultimates here. They've got some in the back pocket as well.
Yeah, Seeker, I think just to really rapidly take the round, make sure nobody was lurking into hookah. It's a good trade, I think, and whatever was in the timeout, whatever was said, it seems like aggression, a bit of pace, a bit of confidence to take the fight was what was needed.
Yeah, and I'm not sure the timeout will have been, oh, they're going to push B long, let's make sure to clean it up. But
it's a 3-player stun, by the way, with a Trailblazer there.
Yeah, Mystic's utility really has been excellent so far this series. An enormous step up from the guy compared to how he was playing for the rest of the tournament. I hope this is what we'll be seeing for the rest of the match, and FNATIC will have a chance of being able to get back in. Melzer with a judge holds down hookah, and it is a slightly more conservative approach to the round. Taco, though, pokes his head out into sand, just seeing what he can see.
Can't resist. Can't resist the play.
But he's just baiting people into Melzer here. He wants them to think that it's only him inside hookah. Is Durka going to fall for the trap?
Pulling a nade, Melzer up close and personal, inside the smoke, the Nightfall. Scattered across, Satchel in play. No position really being gained in hookah right now. FNATIC being stopped, but as soon as the smoke fades, it's an opportunity! And finally they swing, 2 players to clear out the judge into hookah, but it is that 1-for-1.
It's a fantastic trade fire, Alpha, yeah. Melzer easily could have got 2 kills, but FNATIC have used a lot. And King is already on the flank. This is the lack of the chamber here.
No
like we were talking about. Is anyone watching for it?
The timing could be everything. Enzo, he goes back to re-clear it, but the spikes drop down now on a nade. A passive play by King. Doesn't overstep himself, doesn't give away his life after getting the 1.
And this Cosmic Divide. Shy with a pop flash, it's just perfect. Off the back of the sound cue.
Tacolia, man, what a play! The utility coming together. And everything that we were, I mean, Josh, you were saying it. The lack of the chamber, of course, offers liberties, flanking liberties.
It really does. And especially with how good Leviathan were at stopping the sight hit coming through as well. Here's King on the flank, and he was able to get into this position. No trademark, nobody watching for it. But also, the initial sight hit that came through had a lot going behind it from FNATIC. But it was all stalled out by Shy, dumping utility. Shy popped his Seekers, then he popped the Trailblazer. And the point is, just to try and stop FNATIC from getting up B long. When you have Sky utility on one side and Melzer with a judge on the other, FNATIC are forced to pause. And that's where King backstabs.
Taking that breather.
And now what do Leviathan, what do FNATIC do? They are going to be able to get a buy together, but it feels like they're going to end up getting scared and timid and wait for the push. But you need some level of aggression to bait the push out in the first place.
Yeah. Jiggle. Another snake bite, pushes off the angle along with the Trailblazers, so FNATIC again taking the space on B long, but not committing much more else.
Yeah, they're not going deep. And this, I think, was one of the struggles with FNATIC on their attack side. They use a lot of utility, but they don't take the space. Perhaps even a little timid.
It's so passive with this approach, but I believe, what is that, the Viper War probably going to be up now for FNATIC to try and work their way in. Double satchel play in order. That's going to break the trademark that was close as well. Flash off to the side. Players just trying to work their way in. Boaster, what a timing to catch. And kills. Definitely this time going away of FNATIC. A pop flash play, but again, angles being held. Nade pushing it, unfavorable for Melzer. Still he survives in the angle. Tackle here, you are full running, son. What is that? Straight into Alfie. The trade comes online down to Melzer. 1v2. The crossfire has to be unwinnable, surely, and the swing from Boaster is there in the end.
Good trades from FNATIC to be able to close that one out. And it's Alfia as well, bailing them out of some of these situations. How can you ask so much of someone so young, so inexperienced? But that's what FNATIC are doing right now. He is one of their star players, and they need him to play like a star. That play, I mean, he's spamming into it because he's just really trying to punish any attempt at a pop flash, holding it for the planter. also opening things up down short earlier on in the round 2. Sat top fragging for FNATIC as they try and claw their way back into a half that started devastatingly poorly once again.
Mauser just content to disrespect it. The Haunt revealed his position, taking up short angles again.
Still going for a walkabout, isn't he?
Yeah. That utility again, the molly over the top, just something to push away the angles, but the question's been, what have FNATIC been able to get once they take that space on B-Long? This time it is so slow, approaching that minute mark. Spike still on the ground.
And FNATIC spend a lot of utility taking B-Long, but it's always being re-cleared by Shy. Now he can just jiggle peek it again. And look at Leviathan's information on Showers and B-Long. They know FNATIC are crunched in the center of the map.
Stars drop down, that's going to be the pull. Over towards B-Long, Horns over the top, anybody to pre-fire it, that's going to be revealing the positions. Now a flash, double satchel engaged, Durka is in there, the showstopper! Off to the side, making a mockery of it, but Mystic has absolutely salvaged it.
What an awesome series of kills by Mystic, coming up for his team when they need it the most. And it's all back down to Melzer and Taco. Leviathan knew all of those players were coming through Hookah, and they crushed Durka's entry.
So clean by FNATIC, so clean.
That is the Mystic that you need to see. Confidently taking the space that Durka delivers to him and trading out the kills, winning the duels. Making those XX work.
Melzer at this point with just a Spectre and a half armor, not something he wants to particularly save into the next round. That's why he's still lurking around Hookah. Taken care of though. Tackleer definitely wants to keep this weapon in his hands.
And Mystic has thoroughly woken up. I mean, he just swings, deletes Melzer there. Can they take the op out of Taco's hands? Do they even want to?
No way.
Have a look at this 2K from Mystic. He comes in, clotheslines Adverso, and then picks up a kill on King. While it might not look like the cleanest thing in the world, it's all of the space that he takes. And that, I think, has been the biggest problem to me watching FNATIC, is that they seem reluctant to follow their utility or follow their entry players, and that means they're giving up space. And Leviathan are so aggressive, they take it back from them.
Yeah, they fill in the gaps so often.
Yeah, they just backfill very quickly. So that's why I love that play from Mystic so much, because he's confidently driving forwards into the site, confident that everyone is going to be watching Durka.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened. And he gets the job done.
Another one on the board, clawing it back. FNATIC, they force this timeout now from Leviathan.
And they're going to force another eco round as well. So while the scoreline sits at 4-6, if things go as expected, as the economy dictates, we should be sat back within one round. Still, not a position that FNATIC would have expected themselves to be in. Like I said earlier, any map pool that features Bind and Fracture has 2 out of 3 of FNATIC's best maps in it.
Yeah.
If you can't win that match, you can't win any of them against Leviathan.
Bringing it right to them. These rounds, though, Josh, right now that Leviathan are sitting on with the Sheriffs, the Operator in the hands of Tackleer, they always turn out to be dangerous, don't they?
Oh, these are the rounds where Tackleer takes liberties. He may want to save his Operator. It's not like he's working with a tour de force. But, oh, no, he's going for it.
He's right up close and personal, man. But Durka, right off the back of it, as soon as that rendezvous was forced out, the double satchel play to take it. Now the Seekers on top. What have they got to try and stop this? The answer is not that much. A flash and a nade moves around Tackleer. You absolute maniac. Mystic is taken out, but Durka works his way in. A little bit of a jump and swing there, still finding the heads. Wonderful plays in the end, but running out of bullets. And a nade and a swing.
Poster died to the nade. Alpha, you're desperately trying to make this one work. Yeah. Only just managing to finish off King off the back of the seas.
Still alive for Tackleer, but Alpha here.
And that one will give you heart palpitations if you're a FNATIC fan, because while there were some great things that happened, like Alpha being able to clean up and how confidently Durka was moving the way forwards, there was some messy moments there too.
They just assumed that the nade into the smoke was enough to clear it. The Tackleer wouldn't swing.
Yeah, I mean, Tackleer doesn't have an Operator anymore, but when you look at the risks that he's making and the reward he could have gained, and did gain, in fact, on that peak, it ends up being worthwhile. They had opportunities to win that round.
Absolutely.
Once more, relying on Alfia to deliver that.
Yeah, if you're going to be staring at the floor there for a moment, pull into the showstopper. That's going to force out this Vipers. Versa wins that! You've got to be kidding! Should not be favoured.
I'm surprised he could even see Boaster. Just the legs dribbling in, but had to hit a head.
Durka falling, not ideal. FNATIC now with this man disadvantage, this player disadvantage.
And Durka chose to get the aggressive timing instead of waiting for everybody else on his team to try and get some well-executed punish. I can't blame him, but it just didn't work out. Adverso is having so many of these big impact moments. And now what do FNATIC do? They've already used the Trailblazer, which is their major tool to get into this Viper's pit. Enzo with double Prowler could help, but it's not like you're going to haunt and mark anybody inside there.
No.
There's not going to be any trails for you to use. You're just going to be wiggling the cat around inside a pile of ooze.
This Viper's pit has caused so many obstacles now for him. The Flash gets information with 28 seconds left. Shy knows. Taking up space. The spam Boaster can't find the kill. It sets up Shy. Another Prowler inside of it, just wiggling around, hoping for the best. Mystic falls. Another pop flash play. Alfia tries to scale. He tries to capitalize, but it's all down to Enzo. And he's surrounded on every single front. The 7th round secured for Leviathan, keeping their advantage rolling.
And that is a great half from Leviathan. 7-5 up on a map that should favor FNATIC, given all of the data recently, but they're playing some lights out play. Look at that! How perfect was the shot? And all of the Leviathan players are stepping up. And this half, it might not look over for FNATIC, but Leviathan have just been insane in the pistol rounds.
It has been absurd. Let's send it down to our desk. Let's see what you guys are making of this final map. What a tale that would be. For FNATIC, one of the favorites of EMEA to go out here.
Yeah, by far and away the favorites. They need this pistol. FNATIC looking like they want to go for a pretty heavy push down B long off the back of this one. Everyone is there, ready to collect inside the Viper smoke.
Up close and personal, Hordes is going to be revealing just a boatload of the players and a flash on course. Supplementing this aggression nicely. FNATIC, a great answer. Melza dropped to 15 health on top of it. That util dump come into fruition.
And the Leviathan players just couldn't see them coming. All sat inside Adverso's Poison Orb, and yet still got marked by the Haunt. A gorgeous pistol round play by FNATIC. The timing could not have been more perfect for them to potentially save this series, save their tournament run.
So important to win out these pistol rounds against a team like Leviathan. They put so much stock into it. Their overall strategy, and with Tagalia dealt with Melza. Listen, I don't want to keep bringing it up, but this guy has been so clutch in the past. Looking like an impossible task here.
Yeah, there are only so many times you can ask it of him.
So low.
And I think that shows you some of the mentality that Leviathan have as well. They're chilling. They're chilling. Even though this goes to 7-7, they're putting the pressure on. Great pistol, though, led by Mystic, who's been having a good game so far. Up at the top of the scoreboard for his team, despite how well Alfia has been doing. And this should draw FNATIC back level. Now, FNATIC are great on both sides of the map here. For Leviathan, there might be some questions about whether or not they're going to be able to attack, but listen, they were able to get it done on the defense. I don't see any reason why this wouldn't be another nail-biter of a half.
Yeah, I mean, we've been questioning this entire tournament. I think I'm done with it at this point.
Yeah.
These guys have proven themselves. They brought it all the way to map 3 against one of the best teams at the event. FNATIC do win out that pistol. Boombot for a boombot. Just exchanging it. Nate going to be rebounding off the Durka as well, but any more pressure that was applied, Durka was ready for it.
Are they ready for Adverso, though? He's been very quick into lamps. They should know that this is a possibility.
Yeah.
Again, no trademark. They can watch, and there's the Prowler that clears the
Haunts it. Yeah, the right click. Bringing Boaster down to 46 health, and this is just the round where, okay, see what orbs you can harvest, see what advantages you might be able to get, but...
Mystic says, my ult orb.
Yeah, that's just not happening, is it? Mystic, off the back of that, he's only 2 away now from his own ult.
Yeah. It could be some level of snowball potential. Shy detected, taken out by Durka, and it's a prime gaming flawless. FNATIC couldn't have asked for a better beginning to this half, the final half of the match. They're going to have a nasty good bonus round buy coming up here too.
Classic play with the judge in hookah. Also was causing all sorts of issues for them when they were playing the defense side. This time Alfie obviously picking it up.
And I think Adverso's going to find it more difficult on the attack half to have different looks going on, because he was all over the map. And like Bala said on the desk, some really interesting things going on, and a lot of the game plan revolving around him. I don't really see how they're going to be able to set that up. Over here though, King! What? Wasn't he full blind?
The utility just coming in his face, and yet he just was happy, absorbing all of it around Fountain, taking the shots, cool, calm, and collected.
However, FNATIC were able to respond, grabbing a couple of kills, including a swing, I believe, from Boaster, just chatting his way out of hookah. And now they're leaving B. Gamble stacking over on the A side, expecting there to be some kind of group up A push down short. This is a bit concerning to me because the B side of Bind is quite difficult to crack back into.
Yeah, playing retake's never favorable. Leviathan. Viper Raw placed down, making sure that they clear these corners of the smoke. Could be a player here and there, but FNATIC nowhere to be seen. If you look at the minimap, they are contact pushing, re-clearing back through short.
Yeah, this might give them some kind of timing, but they're going to run into Takolia's trademark, Alfia. Is it a good idea to have all three of your players retaking through hookah, though, without a flash or something to be able to break this up? Maybe they would have wanted to go from multiple different directions, but perhaps the advantage on their side is that they're unexpected. No teleporter noise, and here they come.
Yeah, you're not going to expect this one. Double satchel play into it! Positioning known for Boaster and Alfia. They've all fallen, one after another.
And that could have been FNATIC's opportunity to take the lead in the series.
Oh, man.
But Leviathan shut it down. And what was that play from King off the rip? I mean,
I don't know how he just stood his ground there.
He just swung out into B main.
He did not care.
Was he not blind? He absolutely was for the second kill, but just had a glimpse of where Mystic was on his screen.
One enemy remaining.
What a disgustingly good play by King to open things up.
And at this point, not even surprised when the players of Leviathan are able to pull that one out, but a speedy approach all the way into showers. King is there, and it's going to be the pull to meet him. Not even able to pull that nade out, traded. And now it's a crunch. A trap play set up by FNATIC. Is there going to be a proper answer? Doesn't look likely. Smoked off, dropped away. Takalia wants to capitalize. He's moved all the way in. He's taken up the space, but spotted out. Kill not going to be handed to him. Alfia could have maybe got that timing.
But instead, there's going to be a clash over towards Elbow. Both players think they're making the smart play here, the unexpected play, and they're going to clash.
Inside the smoke.
Oh, Alfia knows there's someone there. He heard it. In the meantime, you've got Adverso so deep, trying to soundbait Mystic into chasing him.
What is occurring?
This round is madness.
So many little fights taking place at first. So no, does not expect that one, I guess. Enzo waiting to collect an easy kill. Now just down to Melzer and Takolia. The utility that's just being thrown at them. Fully blind up. FNATIC very clean in terms of their retake.
And there were a couple of players that could have been disastrous had FNATIC not been on their game. Takolia was making a reactive play into B, and Adverso ended up making a reactive push all the way into the defending spawn. But FNATIC were aware of it, and the Showers crunch works sublimely. King also just getting outplayed by the trap over in Showers. Looked a little lost there with Util in his hands as Durka goes for the swing. Perhaps just needs to keep in the back of his head the potential there for these re-clear, not quite trap plays, but re-clear utility plays from FNATIC.
Forced down to this half by Leviathan. This is the chance of FNATIC now to get their lead in the series with the kill onto Adverso. No more lurks going to be occurring off the back of that one. Mystic actually ends up using his own Seekers just to try and get a bit of information at the round. Maybe feeling a little bit spooked, but pushing off the back of it.
Found one.
Oh, and he knows that there's somebody up there at Sand. He has great information to go for this play, but if he dies, he's going to lose a Phantom.
Is Taco going to Oh, he's going to be regrouping with the rest of his team. He looked like he was going to be going a back way.
And Mystic needs help, so now Alfie has come to support.
What is occurring? No guns out, but finally, Headhunter, moving to the sides. Damage is done. Mystic. This player's past him.
Mystic was ready to trade, but he was too late to support. Now Alfie's got back before anything could go fast and aggressive. They don't know the Mystic's there. I mean, there's just crazy timings being taken all over the map here.
Just liberties with the play. A pull now as the smokes are dropped. Even a flash into backside, but still Leviathan not willing to commit just yet. Finally, dropping down. Alfia can't quite get the kill, but the spike is dropped.
Boaster's good for it, and I don't think there's any way they'll anticipate Mystic being behind.
Smart reposition. Taunt is dodged, even the Prowler.
Here comes Mystic.
The positioning of Melter. Mystic needs to get value, and there's the kill. Dropping down the spike, they still don't know that Melter's here.
But in a 1v4 without the spike down, what can he do?
What can he do, indeed? Ult online, time running so low, though, and he is swarmed.
And Melzer is just not being given the same opportunities, the same winnable moments that he was in the game against Xset. You can be the best clutcher in the world, you're not winning rounds like that. And these moments are getting wild. Perhaps Fnatic have decided, instead of trying to control the chaos, to embrace it. Yep. That's what it feels like.
Caution to the wind. Find your own plays, find your own mark in a series, and I mean, it's working out for them.
And Takolia has been putting his trademark in stranger positions. Doesn't always go for the default market one. Sometimes, perhaps in this round as well, putting the trademark deep in sand, as you can see on the minimap right now.
Yep.
And it feels like Fnatic themselves are trying to abuse that a little. Making these unusual pushes.
Fighter just trying to clear through. Walking right over the star, not worried. Durka, he's got that nade out. Taking a chunk of the damage. Showstopper in play, Satchel! Avoiding it, and the orbital strike, well, it just about misses, but the angle is found anyway. The nade! Right into it. Durka does his best to avoid. Ults on ults. Abilities on abilities.
And it only takes 1 or 2 rounds for Leviathan to already adapt and break down the way that Fnatic are holding showers. King was so fast past the Astra Star. Caught a timing on Durka where he didn't expect it whatsoever. And then there's the orbital strike ready to punish. Leviathan are thinking about how to break Fnatic's holds. Intelligent team.
30 seconds, give or take. Now the Seekers come through for the try and hit, but Boaster matters into his own hands with a kill onto Adverso. He may have just set his team up nicely, but the plant starting to get stuck. Taco going to be letting it go. Showstopper off to the side. The damage done, but no kills. Eventually returned. Shy. Suppressive fire locks that one angle down, but 20 seconds, Josh.
Time ticking. The plant goes down, however. Takolia getting vulnerable, but still sticks the plant. There are no flankers happening here.
Ultimate in hand. Cosmic Divide to split the side up. This is going to be forcing a couple of fights. Melzer against the box. Players coming through right deep. Alpha, you just get the one, but Takolia still locks it down. And it's all down to Alpha. Has the positioning, taps it ever so slightly. The jump peak moving through, but being watched. 9-9.
And this match continues to be on a knife's edge. I think the game plan there was fairly solid by Fnatic, but they just missed all of their shots. They lost every duel. Durka, of course, getting outplayed at the beginning of this round. But look here, Leviathan just able to win so many of those 1v1 duels that happened off the back of the Cosmic Divide.
Fnatic's way to try and get back into the side. It ended up working slightly in their favor. Aye, aye, aye.
And this could be an enormous one. Whoever loses this round is going to be brought back onto a low buy. Durka pulls out the operator and wins the raise head-to-head. I don't think that King was expecting that one.
Of course not. Of course you don't anticipate it. It works out anyway. Prowler to push them back, Boasters. Of course, catching and containing Adverso.
That has been a key adaptation for Boaster. That's the second time he's managed to find a kill on someone reactively pushing short. It is a bit readable. That's what I said about Adverso. He had so many different looks on defense, but attack side bind as a Viper, you're doing the same thing most of the time.
Pushing and lurking. Using your utility down short there. Great answer by Fnatic, and at this point, money running so low. Honestly, what is the goal here for Leviathan?
It might be another one of their saves. Leviathan have been saving a lot so far in this tournament run, finding and picking their moments where they have the humility to realize, even with how good we've been in the clutch, we should probably take our foot off the gas pedal here.
Slow it down, yeah.
Slow it down.
Live, claim a gun.
Live for another day.
It's the percentage play.
Yeah. And this is going to give FNATIC the lead once more. One of the first times, actually, on this map. 10-9 going to be the score here. And so many of these rounds have been not decided, but one team has a huge advantage within the first 20 seconds.
Yeah, decisions being made just off the rip.
Leviathan, we saw it on Ascent, and we're seeing it on Bind. Even though they're defaulting, they are aggressive on the default. They are going to fight for an area of the map instantly. Showers, B-long, whatever area of the map it may be. FNATIC have got to be ready and have to have an answer. And now Leviathan know that there's an operator on the other side.
Play, let's play.
One more variable to throw in the mix for FNATIC. Great adjustments, you can feel it. We were mentioning it. Boast is definitely getting a read of how Adverse is playing. He's caught that one twice now.
So that puts the emphasis on Adverso to mix it up. However, he's gone for the exact same Viper wall. And there are different walls that you can do. Hello, though. Here comes Leviathan, again going for their aggressive B-long approach, countered by Alfia, throwing down the Viper's pit.
And the snake bite. No one can really follow up off the back of this Trailblazer.
But that is going to make Alfia a little cautious. He doesn't have control of the entirety of B-long, but it is almost impossible to get up into that Viper's pit. You just take so much decay damage by the time you've met the Viper.
Smoke's being held, players regrouping. Leviathan. What option are they going for? Fast pop out of hookah. There's stars waiting for you. FNATIC's defensive protocol, I think, in this round looks pretty clean.
Yeah, Mystic can easily drop back into the Viper's pit and flash himself out.
Contacting it away.
That one's just for info. It's way
too
deep.
So deep. But still, now the utility, that's going to trigger out the pull, hiding within the smoke. Flash into the back, does not trigger it, and what a play by Boaster. Lets it rip. Spraying it down with a Phantom. 3 kills found for him.
The IGL for FNATIC, setting up that defensive hold and ripping it.
30 seconds
Leviathan boomed again. Have to just sit back, go for another save. These hits into the site, FNATIC have figured it out. And they are extending their lead to 2 rounds here. I love the way that Boaster and Mystic played that too. It looked like it was going to go a little bit wonky as Mystic sent a flash all the way through the sand, not quite considering that players could have been inside hookah. But Boaster locks it down. Boaster might be quietly having his best LAN performance ever as well.
He's putting up insane numbers.
This tournament?
Same with Mystic.
Yeah. Yeah, and Mystic in this match as well. Doing a good job.
Look at him. Just for a brief moment, but now Boaster has claimed the top of the scoreboard for his team. And what a response. As soon as the utility starts to come out from hookah, he knows what to do.
He's also allowed to place 3 stars at hookah there. 1 to smoke, 1 to suck underneath hookah, and then 1 to stun as he swings. Because his team have got the rest of the map. He just has to focus on that one specific area and does his job extremely well. Alfier's got B long, the other 2 players haven't heard anything towards A. He's not worried. Leviathan perhaps being a bit too readable in some of their attempts.
Yeah, certainly.
So now they're going to take a timeout.
FNATIC have got to feel like they've got a lock on this series now. They are just 2 more rounds away from being able to grab this one. And I know it seems comical me saying that. I know it does, but the nature of the second half, it's FNATIC with better ideas, I think, of what might be coming their way.
And I do agree with you. I think FNATIC are starting to edge out a gap. But if I've learned anything about this Leviathan team, is that they never give up, never give in. They've always got something else to give.
Yeah.
And Leviathan are going to go for a force here. King can barely buy. What's he going to go for? Oh, he actually gets dropped the Vandal and can buy Melzer a Spectre of some sort, maybe? 10 seconds for them to figure out what they want their economy to look like, but this is the round that's probably going to decide who moves on.
Weapons being swapped around, but you're right, Josh. The important one. Money so low for Leviathan at this point with this investment. A round they have to convert, otherwise they're going to be sitting at match point for FNATIC.
with a horrible buy. It is a must-win round for the Chilean team.
Trailblazer. Info going to be gained right across. That's going to be broken though early. Doesn't see too much more.
And Mystic has now used his Trailblazer and both flashes. So perhaps that's success for Leviathan. They've got 3 players on B and bled all of the utility out of the Sky player. But Mystic is confident enough to continue jiggle peeking B long. At some point in the round, if there's any noise towards A, Boaster is going to rotate.
FNATIC
There's another flash.
Mid-round information.
Another flash just came online for Mystic. He flashes Fountain, doesn't hear anything, and now Boaster starts to rotate. Is it in time?
And do you expect Durka from the high ground? And so ends up using a Prowler, spots it out, has to vacate the premises. The jiggle peek baits out the shot. Now the Viper's pit through, but 3 players are really just locked in showers. They have to get through. A pull comes down. They don't really know where the plant is. It's a Season 8 combo. Shy. Can he get out of there? How is he surviving? Oh, the decay just fading away.
It's a great idea from Enzo and Durka, but they just got the plant position slightly incorrect. And now have to retake into a pit.
The health is not good still. FNATIC have got the better guns. And a bit of spam could just win this one out with Takolia falling. The extra element that they were hoping for. Remove taken out. Snipe bait dropped. King's removed. Melza has to come up big. And what a play to make. A snake bite on the floor. Durka ends up falling. The decay damage just too much, Durka. Oh my goodness.
It's Adverso again. First half performance coming out from him. Inside the Viper's pit. He cleans everyone up. What a play from Adverso. He's been such a monster for them in this tournament. He went crazy against DRX as well, despite the fact that they lost that series, but he just outplays FNATIC, just chilling, sat back inside his Viper's pit, applying pressure constantly.
Full confidence.
And on the other side of things, Alfia also had a big round, being able to get the flank off with the smoke, punishing Taco, but it wasn't enough. And Leviathan buy themselves a full attempt back in this series.
It's a bit of a buffer, isn't it? Coming down at 10-11. Oh, the Trailblazer, Durka missing. Positioning being gained. What is that?
Reminiscent of King's leap up into heaven. He manages to find a blast pack kill, but FNATIC have answered quickly.
Screen down.
The play being made by Adverso. He wants to just, again, take the space off of it.
He's always so aggressive on these lurks.
But FNATIC have just got that extra level on top. They traded out efficiently. They have the player advantage, but the plant now starting to go down. Boaster aware that Adverso playing around that triple box space, still being gained. A timing. Look at where Adverso is.
He is so incredibly deep.
They're spamming the smoke.
Yeah, they expect it, but Mystic is still a long way away, expecting Taco to be on B.
Cosmic Divide. Nightfall in hand for Enzo. Wants to scatter this across, wants to set them up. A flash. Nightfall. And now nothing's really going to be gained other than that, the swing through, but FNATIC have got the answer. An appropriate response, and they're going to bring it to match point.
They have one opportunity to be able to convert this, or rather 2 opportunities to be able to convert this and take away the match before allowing Leviathan to get to overtime.
Match point.
And their approach so far has been diligent. What was this shot from King?
Just ridiculous.
What is that?
Just ridiculous.
But the trade was instant, and Boaster has been doing such a great job of making sure Adverso doesn't get too much space on A.
Boaster has been playing the best games of his career, in my opinion, when you consider the stakes that have been set here. This guy, 19 of 13, top of the scoreboard. He's got such a great read on what is happening, but for Leviathan, they want to stay into this.
They definitely do.
The defining moment, a defining round, they have to win this one now.
Leviathan have stolen so many hearts with their run, showcasing that LATAM is certainly not a one-team region, that Leviathan are a team to be respected, a team to be loved. Here comes FNATIC on the push. Taco's going to have to receive this one.
Taco has to get the kills. He has to get the goods, the jiggle, the spam, just from the Bulldog, but the flash around, and Mystic takes the wider swing. Still the 1-for-1.
And Durka was taken down to 1 HP during
You are joking.
that. 1 health.
You are joking. A better gun. Anything other than a Bulldog, and he's falling.
Melza tucked in the corner.
And it's not being watched. Althea, of course. Why would you clear that?
It's an awesome read as well. Althea has been going for these mid-round pushes fairly often, looking to smoke off the trademark. And now Durka, with only a single health point, looks to try and slip into the site.
Seekers are moving in a complete opposite direction, but still the Leviathan players need to get into this one. A satchel to take the space.
Surely this one is not winnable for FNATIC. Surely this is Leviathan getting one step closer to
really
OT.
Shouldn't be the snake bite. Moments away, Durka on 1 health. A Prowler latching on, positioning gain, disrupting the plan, 22 seconds left. It's gonna have to be inside the tube. And Liberty's being afforded, but still the double swing, it shuts him down. A C's over the top, trying to make the play happen. Enzo will not get the space he requires.
And that's one of those match points slipping away for FNATIC. They're looking to get aggressive on the defensive side, but Leviathan went 1 for 1 in the first and heavily punished the second. Leviathan's buy is not great, but their read on the game is, can they take that step towards overtime?
Defining moment in every player right now in this match's career, right here. You bring it back from the brink. Leviathan have done it before.
And what a push instantly. The showers crunch, but there's no one home. And it's all on Althea with a judge.
Instant response, King, showstopper, playing into it. He's clearing the corner, Althea goes down so low, but he oversteps himself once again.
Frankly.
4v4, plant going down. It's up to FNATIC to play the retakes, to deny the OT.
Just Althea being able to go 1 for 1 there, I think, is good enough for his team. Everybody on Leviathan is playing off the site right now, all running away, giving the space, anticipating the Seeker push.
The Seekers are out, collecting their targets. They know that the site is essentially clear. Durka going to be holding this one, trying to get half, but the orbital strike has to satchel out of it. Down to the wire now. The defining moments again, right through the wall, but Durka intends to stick this one. Boaster locks it down, the Horde finding it, but sticking it, the fuse is not enough. It's a 2v2, and with time running so low, Enzo, he's got to lock the angle, he's got to find a shot, time is bought!
But he got off the defuse!
No way! No way!
He got off the defuse! Boaster didn't believe in Enzo there, and it's 12-12, it goes to overtime! What? A crucial and critical mistake from the FNATIC IGL, who was otherwise doing incredibly well in this map. Watch it, the POV. Look at the diffuse bar at the top.
No way.
He gets off it,
no
and
way.
only just starts again.
No way, man.
And from Enzo's point of view, I think he thought he'd done enough. Heartbreak for FNATIC. The retake was immaculate. But the time, the biggest enemy. And we head into our first overtime. Operator up on the side of Leviathan. Tackleia picking this one off. Heading in. Can they do the unthinkable?
Even to bring it to this point is just absurd.
Is Melza scared of making a play in OT? Not a chance.
There.
Just holding his own smoke, making sure that he catches anybody that might just be trying to lurk through this. Respecting it. Tackleia still with the operator on the corner, but it looks like Durka might be aware. With the boombot being destroyed, it should signify that there could be a player just perched up on that angle.
FNATIC very slowly clearing out this area, expecting Melza to still be aggressive. This is the value of conditioning your opponent to expect aggression. They see the smoke, and they're going to use so much utility, so much time. There's only 50 seconds left in this round. FNATIC don't have belong control.
Off onto the side, no belong control. How does he get that one stunned? The flash is avoided. A Mystic left to pick up the pieces, the scraps. A disjointed approach, but maybe Alpha can make it work. Maybe he can do the unthinkable. Up top on the box. Do they know he's there? Do they know the positioning is found?
What's going on?
Finds 3.
Adverso though, coming back
his way in.
And he's a safe pair of hands for Leviathan.
Oh my God.
In such a scrappy opening round of overtime. Leviathan, match point.
Just unthinkable. Just unthinkable. The way this is going. FNATIC.
And those were the big rounds. Sorry, those were the big kills that Althea got. They were full blind.
instinctual plays, not enough. And Leviathan are now sitting at match point.
With an opportunity to pull off the biggest upset that we've had in the tournament, send home the EMEA #1 seed and cement their place in the history books alongside Crew as an incredible LATAM team.
Finally taking a showers there. Space gained, and Takalia again has bored into this glass operator. Same with Durka on the opposing side. What value would these players be able to get? Durka playing on top of this truck, this long angle, but it is a patient game for now.
Both teams taking a cautious approach to the attack rounds, but we saw from Fnatic's point of view that they let the time tick down too low and didn't have enough control over the map. Durka's operator could be a nightmare for them to navigate if they choose to commit down short. But Leviathan are sending the spike towards B. Boaster comes to reinforce, and the flash sees nothing. Does that send Boaster back towards A? He's needed desperately on the B site right now, whether he knows it or not.
Nade in hand, here comes the exec right into the back of the site. Position is still being played, Snipe Bite, it's a double satchel off to the side! The blind is good, but can Boaster really do much more? The damage is done, he found another 2 kills, but not enough to push them back. Nade over the top, Adverso, so low. 25 health now, chunked down in the play, but for the map, for the match, it has to be a retake. Durka and Enzo.
For their tournament lives, to get Fnatic into the top 4.
Talk about pressure, talk about nerves, you're gonna forget it right now. The jiggle off to the side, Durka, information gained, but how can he do it with just the operator? The double swing, Enzo! You can't be doing this, son. A 1v2, swaps the weaponry around, the players are low, a single bullet on either of them, it might be enough, it could be enough. The horn dropped, positioning gained. And now the defuse stuck down to half, he knows where the opposition is, he's sticking it!
What an insane play from Enzo! Ice cold! Doing what Boaster couldn't! Sticks the defuse to send us to another round of OT! I cannot believe the Fnatic were able to win that 2v3.
There's just no shot.
Look at that from Mystic. The reaction.
And look at this guy. Oh, dude, you're making Marv jealous with the ice in those veins, man. I mean, he is just ice cold.
That is crazy. Off the back of his horn, marking up the final player there. And Enzo, without too much of a reaction, but you know that the rest of Fnatic could feel themselves going home. And just the anticipation, the adrenaline running through both of these teams right now as they fight to play in front of our first crowd in Valorant at an International Masters. They fight for top 4. They fight to keep themselves in it.
Ludicrous.
Keep the dreams of a championship alive for either of these teams.
Just ludicrous. Timeout fading away now for Leviathan. And when it gets to this situation, when it gets to this, the rounds of overtime traded back and forth, the strap book, the playbook, it goes out the window.
It certainly can. You know, Durka was a player that really came alive for them in overtime with Fracture. He closed it out with 4 kills. Currently sat at the bottom of the scoreboard. Extremely uncharacteristic for Fnatic. If he can find massive impact, it could tip the scales, tip the balance. But for now, it is dead even.
Haunt over the top, even a snake bite. Very familiar scenes. The opening setup by Fnatic. You can feel it, the tension in the air.
They know that Leviathan's players could be playing on some of these angles that they've tried to play aggressive, showers be long previously. Here comes a Trailblazer, broken instantly. Takalia are not trying to avoid it at all. And they don't want any piece of it. Mystic and Boaster running away.
I mean, that's information gained.
But this is going to be another hit at 50 seconds where all 5 of Fnatic are coming down one lane of the map.
Look at this flank by Shy.
It smells like disaster here for the EMEA top seed.
Launching smoke.
What can they find?
They're just contacting!
And they find the pick-off, still a trade in order.
Obscuring
Leviathan What can they do to disrupt this one? FNATIC now getting a bit of control of the site, but they do not have showers. They do not have the back side of it. It is so dangerous. With the flank coming through on top of it.
30 seconds.
Shy might be the added element. The nade. Oh, so much damage dealt to Enzo, but forced to stick it down anyway. He's got it into the post plant, but they just don't have the positioning.
Shy doing wonders on the flank, and it's just trivial. These defense rounds for the Leviathan in OT are trivial. FNATIC aren't giving them enough of a mixed look. Their pushes are working, they're anticipating the hit, stacking players on the site and crushing them. I mean, what is that as well to take Zerka out? But here, Althea thinks he might have a timing on Taco, who should be perhaps playing towards the plant, towards the site. But there's players to go and do that. And he just stays rock solid. Leviathan with another match point.
Absurd.
It took something ridiculous to save it last time from FNATIC. How many more do they have in the tank?
How do you keep the energy going? There's no if, you just must make it happen. Shy with a Trailblazer, good info onto the one player. Pushing them back, and they've gained B-long control.
Mystic should be looking to respond with his Trailblazer fairly shortly as well. But he knows that this wasn't a fast site hit. They can't overstep themselves. There's still 3 players anchoring here. And we can see from the Spike's position, Leviathan haven't chosen which direction to go in yet.
No, properly slowed down at the mark.
Scout destroyed.
That's good info. So Mystic now knows that there's going to be players loitering around that section of the map over towards B-long.
And this hold is a... Oh, Althea moving away. But that's a FNATIC classic. Having Mystic over towards elbows, somebody that can play inside the smoke that Boaster's going to put towards hookah. FNATIC put a lot of thought into their defensive setups.
Info game, smoke's now dropped. This is going to be the hit coming through. A pull is used early there just to try and disrupt them coming through, but what can FNATIC do to players? Ready and waiting, the crossfire setup, the counter flash! FNATIC responding kind!
It is a beautiful defensive setup from FNATIC. The crossfire's immaculate. And Taco taking the spike with 15 seconds down short.
Running all the way around, dropping down. Adverse only gets the 1, but it is traded. 11 seconds in the round.
There's
no
nowhere
showers
safe.
Control. Takalea pushed off of it. A haunt, a satchel. It's all being used to try and push it back, and there's no time available. Another round of OT.
Look at how Durka plays that as well. He is not willing to take a fight, even towards the end. Just making sure he makes the perfect percentage play of throwing out satchels. I love the defensive setup though from FNATIC, but it's their attack sides that have been really lacking. It might not say that when you look at the scoreboard with how many FNATIC are actually putting up in each half, but the game plan has just devolved in OT. No timeout, just going straight into it here.
My goodness.
They need map control, they need threats in different areas of the map. And Leviathan have been so happy to push. Getting Taco deep on B-long towards the teleporter already. In a very wide position.
Boaster has an operator. Boaster has an operator in the showers angle. The boom bomb missed him! It's a free shot! And a free kill!
What a play. What an absurd play to make. Here's Melzer though, pushing into market. And Boaster's getting
forwards! Boaster locks it down!
Here comes another push though. Melzer, another threat that FNATIC have to deal with. Enzo watches for it! And Enzo and Boaster feel like they've won FNATIC this OT round. I mean, Boaster's just got the Midas touch right now.
You want a different look at a FNATIC on our attack rounds? You got it. Boaster gets 4! A dry operator, man! The glass cannon coming in.
The glass cannon.
Do not question this IGL.
My word. Up to 29 kills currently as well. A kill per round off the back of those 4. How does he get this one? No. What is that?
No way.
Raw instinct.
He just knows. He knows the swing's going to come through there.
And now the pressure is put firmly upon Leviathan. It feels like they've been free rolling up until this point, but they know that they could win this series. They know that they can keep winning in this tournament. To have it ripped away from them here would be too cruel. Can they put together an attack half? Can they break the FNATIC defensive setups?
That's the question. Durka pushed away out of showers early. Enzo, of course, watching that cross, spamming it down. pressure being applied by Leviathan. Different areas of the map, but it's just Taco holding this, contacting up.
Not quite contacting though, they heard the rendezvous. Mystic heard it being placed and has backed up, giving him the respect that Taco deserves.
What advantages can Leviathan even get? The defensive setups, the protocols that Fnatic have been able to pull out in these rounds, they've been almost flawless.
But Leviathan have been hitting B almost every time. And now they're going A, and Boaster's read it again.
It's a read. The players are leaning that way.
Boaster is just having a
dropped.
fantastic game right now. Not only is he finding the kills, but he's always on the site to reinforce his 2 anchors. And he's always got the right read.
Smoke's down.
Leviathan not giving it up though. Stimmy dropped, sees, locks him up at a choke point with 30 seconds remaining. This could get more than dangerous. This could be it. The final blow for Fnatic to move forwards in this tournament. The horns over the top, and the space is just not gained. It's a pivot, but where is the space being gained?
And Boaster's already back.
17 seconds left, the snake bite dropped. Tackle here, the double satchel all the way through. Kills need to flood in, and Fnatic, what a lockdown. 9 seconds, the spike, it's gonna go down. Tackle
Boaster makes the play to try and win the series, and gets punished for it.
No way.
A 2v2?
There's just no world. Dodging, juking, hopping across, now down to the 1v1. Enzo. So cool, calm and collected, but it's Adverso who comes out on top.
Enzo was masterful in the clutch previously, but Adverso responds. 27 kills from Adverso, a player that's been good on every part of Leviathan's game. Helps us go to the 4th round of overtime. Yeah, I know it's been the most OT rounds of the tournament. I can feel it. And both of the players, all of the players can feel it too. I mean, they had OT on Fracture, but it wasn't like this.
Just ludicrous.
Who makes the devastating mistake first? Who makes the game-winning play first? I thought Boaster had done it. But it was not to be. Leviathan will not go quietly into the night.
Fast play by Turker, isn't it? Satchel's in play, Kingno locks it down. Showers control, so important when you notice hits coming through. When you know that Lamp's control is compromised. But Mystic, an aggressive play, flashes into the back, and Turker well supported, supplemented. An instant response again though. Leviathan in the 3v3 with a spike drop down here. King!
Oh! Loops back around, punishes King. This time finds the timing. This time not punished by Taco.
Headshot's being found, dropped across. One angle, the Brimstone Molly drops it off, but it just about misses. The angle still being watched. Alfia, what a play, what a performance from this guy. The reflank has given all the time in the world and all the space for Enzo to get comfortable.
Could this be a Melzer moment? Caught by the seas, that's
Next.
brutal.
Positioning cleared. Spike locked down, surely you don't get half. PA anticipates it, knows where the second one is, you reload in! Pistol out, the right click fails! Another round 1 with Enzo coming up huge.
Switching sides.
Enzo has just been masterful for them towards the end of these rounds. That got sloppy, that got scary, but Fnatic had all the right moves to keep it just within their control. What on earth is this? To Enzo's credit, he looks cool.
Come on. Vamos! One more.
One more. You heard it from Alfia, and he's dead right. One more will do it. One more will put Fnatic into the top 4. But they've struggled to close these out. They've had opportunities. Where's the killing blow?
How can you finish this team off? That's what Fnatic are thinking.
Maybe with a Durka push. Durka looking to find the timing.
The jiggle peek, respected. Rendezvous, instantaneous, you see it. An approach being taken with the nade. Pushing into the site, but it's one being played out again. A haunt, drop down to the low ground. It is sloppy. Both sides letting it rip with the rifle, spraying each other down, but Plant now still here. Melzer not being pushed off. The snakebite in the seas, it does connect, but is the damage done to push him away? Is the damage done to kill him? The answer is no.
Mystic's on the flank right now, and he actually broke the trademark. They should know he's
it.
here. This could be it. This could be the play.
FNATIC with such a huge advantage, and Mystic with all the space to work with the crossfire setup. A smoke to cut it across. LEVIATÁN, the tournament life on the line, the trade out is there. Adverso comes up with it, it's all down to him. A 1v2, positioning known, breaks it down, and what a play! Enzo, so massive in the clutch, so consistent for his team, and he deals the killing blow.
FNATIC had to fight for every inch of that series. A series in which they had 2 out of 3 of their best maps. And LEVIATÁN gave them hell. What a performance. What a team LEVIATÁN are. And maybe everyone expected FNATIC to make it into the top 4, but that was not a given, not by any means. What a showing. What a series, what an evenly matched game. And for it to come down time and time and time again to Enzo, who delivered and delivered and delivered for them in the clutch.
Enzo can't believe it.
It's relief, the primary emotion that FNATIC are feeling. Not joy or euphoria, but relief. And I'm sure it'll be some level of devastation for LEVIATÁN, but once they're given enough time, they can look back over this tournament run as an astounding achievement, honestly.
Absolutely.
I think LEVIATÁN proved to the world that they are a team, a team to be respected, a team perhaps to be feared. And they are going to go to champs. We have not seen the last of LEVIATÁN this year.
You can look forward to their play, moving forwards deeper into the finale of the VCT season.
But man, what an insane final few rounds there that we had on Bind. The failed defuse after Enzo wins almost like a 1v2, and Boaster doesn't quite trust him to deliver it. And then Enzo sticks a defuse with another player in a 1v1, and then loses a 1v1 to Adverso and finally wins one. I mean, just so many moments that were absurd.
Yeah! These teams' careers, these players' careers, food ready and waiting. It's been a long series, guys. You deserve it.
Yeah.
Eat up, fill your stomachs.
I don't know whether they really did gobble up taco, but LEVIATÁN played a lights out game, and FNATIC were made to well and truly sweat. But they have time now to reset, some days off to gather themselves and move forwards and play in front of that crowd to make improvements on what were some sloppy moments and see if they can win the championship to take the trophy. Look at the shake of the head from Boaster. He knows that one was tough.
Push to the limits against a team that took out the #1 North American seed. They pushed the #1 EMEA seed to the very brink. But they deserve every moment of this victory. They claim their spot in front of the crowd, moving forwards deeper into this tournament in that lower bracket.
And what a bracket this is going to be. Just some absurdly good teams, great players. Alfia's form just seems to continue to improve. And the support players stepped up massively there for FNATIC, helping Durka in what was a weak match for him. And that's back-to-back games where Durka hasn't been the biggest player after a bold beginning.
Look at that, our in-zone MVP is up on the screens. Multiple choices that you could make. I mean, listen, you can give it to a lot of these players. I think Mystic has played one of the best tournaments of his entire career. Boaster's IGLing and
best
setups.
match, yeah.
Sure, over the course of the match.
I don't know who I would give it to. I mean, obviously, the recent rounds that we just watched in OT,
Enzo.
It was Enzo. But wasn't Enzo over the course of the whole series. I think Mystic had the biggest step up in performance. Boaster had an insane series on Bind, just reading things masterfully. I don't know. Alfia was amazing. Who do you want to give it to? It's your choice.
Yeah, it is an absolutely outstanding match that we've just witnessed. I've got to work a deal with the devil, I think, to get my soul back because, I mean, unbelievable scenes, wasn't it? We're going to go to a short break. On the other side of things, our analyst is going to set up all the action. We have one more elimination match of the day. You don't want to miss it. Stick around, guys. We'll see you in just a few.
LATAM have eliminated FNATIC before at an international tournament, and it's time to see if LEVIATÁN can follow Crew's footsteps here.
On flash! Spray transfer is immaculate.
Spike
Oh my goodness.
Now, 3, 2, 1.
Nice! is going to be the map going to Fnatic. This is Leviathan firmly in control now. And just like that, we will be going to map 3.
Spike down, B. One enemy remaining.
And that one will give you heart palpitations if you're a Fnatic fan.
Time is bought, but he got off the defuse. No way.
One enemy remaining.
Another round of OT. I'm giving us a lifeline.
Fnatic had to fight for every inch of that series.
And that was the Prime Gaming post-match highlights. I'm back on the desk with Baller and Jess. I think we've all aged like 10 years minimum.
Yeah.
I just want to say thank you to Boaster for not sticking the defuse. That gave us that OT. I think we deserve that between these two teams.
I think that gave me a heart attack.
Yeah.
I got a stroke from all that. Like, oh my goodness.
I feel like I've lived on this desk for longer than I've lived anywhere else on this earth. So now this is my home, and never again, please, Fnatic, do it like that, because I don't think we can handle it.
Yeah, that was a lot. But then again, on the side of Leviathan, we got to say, they managed to push Fnatic this hard. Who would have thought that?
Yeah, they pushed him to the brink from the very beginning, too. There were so many good plays, but on this final map, Adverso was absolutely crazy. It's crazy, too, that he matched Boaster, both of the controllers on this side. Obviously, both sides playing double controller, but man, what a game.
This is the round I wanted to thank Boaster for, I think. This is when...
We know where this goes. This goes to heartbreak.
I think we have a lesson to learn is just trust Enzo. Just trust him.
Do you think he's bullet counting at that point? He's going, he only has 5 bullets or whatever he has left.
Oh, wait, no, it's a different round. It was this round. Oh, there was too many.
There's like 5 different absolute butt clenchers in that round.
Honestly, I forgot that round existed. But yeah, that was also one of the rounds in OT that we otherwise wouldn't have seen if Boaster stuck the team.
It's funny because Leviathan, like, had the 2 times they went to overtime, they had won them quite clearly against Exit. I thought that that trend would continue the moment we hit overtime, and then we get into this, and Fnatic, again, the fact that Boaster makes the own call for himself to buy an op, to take the control the power angle back into showers, and then not only does he do that, but then he capitalizes on just taking the op rather than picking up a rifle where he would be in his comfort zone. The man shot me back to when he was remaining marshalling on Icebox. Blew my mind with some of the shots he was able to hit with the Marshall back then. We got everything in this game. That's what I wanted.
Yeah, we really did. And at the beginning of this game, I was like, okay, there's no chance for Fnatic to really get into it emotionally, because over and over and over, the pressure felt like it was getting to them. But on that final map of Bind, they really were in their comfort zone, and they said, okay, this is it, man. We're playing a real game of Valorant here, and they just popped off.
Yeah, you might not know this, but right in the beginning of the beta of this game, Boaster wanted to be a jet opper. So I think, like, once a jet opper, always a jet opper.
Fair enough.
That does not leave you.
Fair enough. I'm happy with him going op if he wants to, because he'll have a place in my heart with it.
Yeah, might as well. And speaking of Boaster, he is standing by, I hope pretty tired, I assume, but definitely energetic as always right now with Golden Boy in the Verizon Player of the Match, I believe. No, he's not. Yes, he is.
Thank you so much, Insu. Don't worry, I got you covered. I'm here at our Verizon post-match interview with Boaster. Look, I'm sweating like a pig up here, but I can't even imagine what you're feeling like right now, brother. How are you? What's the... describe to me the moment that match ended. How did you, like, what happened to your body?
Honestly, overtime after overtime, I was like, come on, someone just carry this round, please. I'm begging you. It's boiling out here. I'm sweating. I'm hot in game, and I'm hot temperature out of game. I was like, please, just let it end. I wanna meet the crowd.
Well, actually, fun fact for everyone, it is quite hot in the venue, especially in the player area. It's just all, just all that, good game energy, right? It's just radiating heat everywhere. This series was a very difficult challenge for you guys. What is it about that, the LATAM style, the Leviathan style, that was just so different from what you had even experienced against Paper Rex yesterday?
I just think like they have such firepower coming in big bursts. You know, you never really know what's going to happen within these rounds, and it's just kind of like they have the strategical impact from their coaches now, and then with that, it's just kind of like it's such a difficult game, and it's so tough to play and draining and stressful because it looks like you're about to win a round. You're like, yo, we're 5v3, freeze and hold, and next thing you know, 3v3, and I'm like, oh no, quick, end the round.
Dude, and also your calls that whole game were just, it was a masterclass. You literally, go back and watch it, seriously. You legit had the reads every single round. It was incredible. Like, is it just a tendency thing, or were you just really like saying like, hey, we're just gonna play our strategy, especially as it goes into those late overtimes?
I kind of play off, obviously we have some anti-shots going into it, like we have ideas of what they like to do, but on attack side, it's really based off what I'm kind of seeing and what information's being fed to me. And I'm like, Chamber could be here or here. Okay, he's gonna be there, and then it's like, we'll just go that way. If he's there, make sure we prowler him and at least and flush him out.
Yeah, okay, you specifically requested that I ask you about this. Your op round. It was not expected. Everyone was blown away by it. What was the decision-making process for that?
I've been watching a lot of Tarek recently, and he inspired me a lot. Also, in Ranked, it's my one play. I brimstone AWP showers sometimes when I'm kind of a bit bored. And in that overtime moment, I was like, Millie ain't gonna like this, but I'm gonna buy an AWP and not say anything. So I was like, everyone do their default, and I knew what the Raze did. I knew he was gonna boombot. I was gonna hide from it, and I was gonna post up, and I'll be like, it's either Raze or Chamber there. And I managed to wipe out the Raze. The Viper's coming at me like a lunatic. I was like, I need to take the swing on him. Took the swing on him, knocked him out, and I'm like, get me on site now. I was like, Sky's gonna wanna pop flash through, care boys. And I was like, screw it, I think he's gonna pop flash through there. Boom, take him out. One backside, I'm like, let me hunt him. And I was like running, jump, through the toxic, boom.
Yeah, dude, you are nasty, and that was one of the plays that pushed you to this point. Now you get to play in front of a crowd, man. How does that make you feel? How does that make the boys feel?
You know how it makes me feel?
Do it. Twerk it up, baby. That's what it is. Do it again for the camera to really catch it in 4K.
I gotta save it.
Okay, we'll save it for the actual show itself when he walks out in front of a crowd. Boaster, man, congratulations, brother. Seriously, what a game that was. Congratulations to you, the team, the coaching staff, everyone at FNATIC. Awesome stuff, brother.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you. All right, we're gonna pitch it back over to the desk, but thank you so much, Boaster, once again for this Verizon post-match interview.
Thank you very much, Golden Boy. What I gather from that is we need to watch more Tarek. I think Tarek needs more views. And also, how is he that energetic after 3.5 hours?
I have no clue. Yeah, I mean, I have no clue. This guy just continues to zoom.
But you called it as well on the op round. You said to me, you were like, he knows the boom boss coming. This is a strat.
There had to have been something, and yeah.
I mean, it can't have been random. And the fact that he's like, I'm going to hide it from Minnie, then I'm going to buy the op. I'll say to everyone, yes, all go default. So that Minnie's hearing, okay, everyone's doing default. I trust this. And he looks down, he goes, what is that?
Someone needs to ask Minnie, actually, to react to that. But before we jump to a break, we asked you guys at home to vote for the in-zone player of the match. Wow.
Get your boasties.
This might be the first, I feel like. This might be his first international tournament. I don't remember the last time he won it over Durko or Doma.
I mean, he deserves it after that performance on Bind. He tied the most kills on a map as well. 31. The only other person to do that was Trex in overtime, too, against Crew.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to be said, not only about his ability to get a lot of kills on the map, but his calling. And he said it was a flip of the coin. I think there was a little bit more instinct than the flip of the coin. I'm going to give him, I think he's playing, all the entertainment value there. I think there's more to it there, and he's one of the best brains we have in Valorant, and he should be celebrated as a result of it.
I'm going to need that coin for my ranked games. Yeah, let me borrow it. But I'm going to let you guys have a break. I think we all need a break here. But don't worry, guys. There's going to be more Valorant coming up, and DRX will be taking on another EMEA team, FPX, right after this.